Hey, yo, what's good, what's good, what's good? Welcome to Reflections of a DJ, the R.O.A.D podcast presented by DJ City and Beat Source. I'm one of your hosts, DJ Crooked. We got Jamie the Great.
Yeah.
A little off camera. We got Alex Heisey in the building. We have a special co-host. We got two special co-hosts. Mm-hmm. One is a legend, a GOAT in nightlife, in clubs, and everything in New York. He's one of my favorite, a lot of motherfuckers' favorite DJs. And I'm so glad that I'm honored that he could be here with us. We got DJ Goldfinger in the building.
Yo, what up, world?
Yo, Goldfinger's in the building, and we have another world tour DJ over here.
Here we go.
We have G-Eazy's DJ Quiz in the building.
Yeah.
What's up?
And now we have a big guest. I'm so psyched to have him here. I'm honored to have him here. Me and Quiz I've been working on this. We've been working on it. I've been speaking about this. This is like my bucket list ever since I started this podcast with the homies. I said this is top 5 guests that I wanted on the show.
Thank you.
And we finally have him here. You know, he's been in radio and he's held the tri-state area down for almost 30 years. Facts. From 98.7 KISS, Hot 97 WBLS to Sirius.
Facts.
Known as El Presidente, Big Spanish.
That's me, baby.
You know, the leader, founder of the Heavy Hitters DJ crew.
Thank you, family.
Born and raised in Flatbush, Brooklyn. Brooklyn's definitely in the building right now.
Yeah.
It's in the building today.
You know?
We got DJ Enuff. DJ Enuff in the building.
Hey, how y'all doing? All right.
What's good? God, I'm so honored to have you here.
Nah, I'm glad you guys have me here.
Yeah.
Thank you, bro.
See,
I didn't know it was that serious. Quiz, we doing this Tuesday, so I'm there.
Yeah.
That's it. See how quick that was? You guys made it seem like it was 3 years. He said, "We doing this Tuesday?" I said, "I'm here."
There you go.
All right, you want to come do this podcast? I'm in there. Let's do it.
It's been a minute. We've been working. See, like you don't even know behind the scenes.
Yeah,
we've been talking to different people that have been trying to reach out to you.
It's all good.
It's all the way to like Miami because my boy Raul in Miami is cool. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Absolutely.
And he's cool with your wife.
Absolutely.
And y'all be coming to Miami. He's like, yo, I'm gonna try to do it.
Yeah.
So as soon as Quiz locked it down, Raul in Miami hits me up and he's like, yo, Enuff is down Tuesday. And I'm like, yeah,
I know. It's funny.
I'm so glad I have so many things I want to talk to you about.
Let's do it.
You know what I'm saying? And I think one of the things I want to personally talk to you about is like in the 90s when I was growing up,
okay,
you know, Hot 97 was obviously a big part of like, you know, my upbringing with hip hop and everything. And one of the first times I remember hearing you on Hot 97 and it was like such a change. It was like, you know, because Funk Flex was always on Hot 97. And then I remember hearing you and then I remember like, you know, I was young and you was like talking with your homies on the street with the fellas. And we would have these discussions like, who's better, Flex or Enuff? You know, we'd be like, who's Flex?
I got that my whole career.
Your whole career?
My whole career with Funk. Yeah.
We'd be in front of the bodega just talking like, yo, who you Flex? And I remember like, I'd be like, yo, Enuff. Enuff is like, yo, Enuff is killing right now because I was like, yo, man, he's the only dude that's on the radio playing dancehall and reggae, like prime time and killing the sets. And they're like, yo, you got a point. Like he be killing it with the dancehall and the reggae.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to go get them dub plates from Jamaica. And when I came straight from the island, I went straight to the station and bust those dub plates wide open.
Really?
And I felt really excited about things like that.
Wow. So you would go to the island? You would go to Jamaica?
Of course.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Sharon Burke. Sharon Burke was the first promoter who actually booked me in Jamaica. So then I would meet all these legendary producers, the guys who did the Wally rhythm, the guys who did the bookshelf rhythm.
Right.
I met them all. And I was chilling with them in the studio. And they would just line me up and be like, yo, all these dancehall artists are coming to the studio. And they're gonna line you up with mad dubs. Usually they charge, but because you're DJ enough that you don't gotta pay nothing, just come to the studio. And I'd be just there in the studio, just sitting here with a drink in my hand, maybe an L or something, and they just start going crazy. And then I got all this untapped dub plate music, and then I would take it to the States and then premiere it on Hot 97 like it was like new gold found. So that was my and then for me, to be honest with you, I just wanted to get one up on like Sting or like some of the other guys in Brooklyn who were come making noise because they used to have this pirate radio station in Brooklyn called Wagwan Radio. And everybody in Brooklyn, Flatbush, Crown Heights, the East, they all worked there. Like to see that movement happening.
Yeah.
And it was exciting because the same energy that young pirate radio station had was the initial feeling and energy that we had when Hot 97 first came on.
Right.
So
but that's probably
it was exciting. It was just exciting to see that.
Right. But it's like maybe like the peak of like dance hall commercial level, like crossing over and like really taking over.
No,
where
it's
it was
a big
becoming
deal.
pop.
It's a big deal.
Especially when you're speaking like the Diwali rhythm.
Yeah, it's a big deal, man.
Which was like up there, maybe top 5 rhythms of all time.
Has to be.
Right?
Yeah.
So wait, before you were at Hot 97, you were at 98.7 Kiss.
My first radio gig was at Kiss FM Radio.
Have you always wanted to be on the radio?
Always. That was my dream.
It was your dream.
Yo, when you woke up in New York City, you heard Carlos de Jesus, you heard Frankie Crocker,
That's right.
you heard Jeff Fox, Fred Buggs,
Yvonne Mobley.
you know, so Yvonne Mobley, you know, Chuck Leonard.
Yeah.
All these people ran the radio. And I remember them specifically because they did the commercials and they were also the hosts of a lot of the nightlife and parties in the city.
Right.
Like when I went to Roseland for the first time, I think I was a teenager still. It was a teen party, but it was a big teen party. I got to see the Fat Boys turn into the Fat Boys from the Disco 3. I got to see AJ Scratch on the set with Red Alert. I got to see the Cold Crush Brothers on stage, like doing Fresh, Wild, Fly, and Bold. Like to see that as a teenager, and then to see like Crazy Legs down over here battling like half of Uptown and the Bronx, it's crazy. Like that was the circle. It was bananas. From hustlers to hip hop icons.
So wait, what is the main thing that attracted you? Just like the influence and just what it was capturing and everything? With
The first thing was just the music.
The music, of
just
course.
the music,
Yeah.
bro. When you grew up in, you know, in any kind of like, I guess ghetto or hood or whatever, music's everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, like, to be honest with you, when I first started DJing, my grandmother was like, "What is this music you playing? What is this? Why don't you play salsa?" Like that was her thing. Like I was going against my culture. Like you bad boy, you're not playing salsa. Like everybody in our family, we listened to salsa music, but they didn't understand what I was doing.
Wait, were they supportive when you wanted to?
They always was supportive, but they didn't understand it until almost 15 years later.
Wow.
You know?
When was the point where they actually kind of understood it?
All right, it was my dad.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, I am now the celebrity judge on Freestyle Fridays on BET, 106 in Park.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So I'm on TV now every week, right? And that became a big thing. So then one day I take the Hot 97 van to my dad's house to Nanuet. He lived in Nanuet, upstate New York. And I parked the van, and then all of a sudden we get a bunch of knocks on my dad's door. They're like, "Is Enuff here?" And they're like, and my dad's like, "What?" My dad, my dad, I don't think my dad even knew my name.
Yeah,
you know, my
DJ
dad,
name.
and then my dad looks at me one day, he's like, "What do you do again?" And I'm like, are you kidding me? I've been doing this for 20 years already, and you're gonna ask me now what am I doing? But my dad was old school. You know, he was a firefighter, a sanitation man, and you know he was an old school blue collar worker. So for him, it was like you work hard, and then later in life we'll try to figure out ways you could play hard.
Right.
But that was his thing. But this music thing, he was like, "This is not gonna amount to nothing. What are you doing?" You know, they all grew up like that, thinking that music wasn't going to amount to nothing. Because how many people, just period, even if you're not from the hood, how many people banked on music and became nothing? A gazillion people. So whether you're a singer, a writer, a guitarist, whether you're whatever, how many people banked on being a musician and didn't make it? A gazillion people.
Yeah, it just wasn't. It wasn't like a normal pathway for anything.
No.
And it wasn't. And you know, obviously, if you're first generation, they don't. They want you to have a stable life. They want you to like.
Yo, when I'm trying to do this,
yeah,
hip hop's not even on TV yet. There's no movies. There's no TV shows. Nothing.
There's nothing to reference.
I remember the very first, like seeing what I would call like a hip hop commercial, and it wasn't really hip hop. It was like them adding hip hop to it, like a little break dancing, a cartoon figure, and eat Fruit Loops, and then the guys doing the head labs, or that, you know, like it's that comical stuff.
Yeah.
But it was very inviting to a child who's 10, 11, 12 years old, and you're seeing the founding elements of hip hop on TV for the first time. So you're losing your noggin. You're like
Barney Rubber with a gold chain.
Yo, it's crazy. Yeah, all that. That's what I'm saying.
It's real.
So wait, so like you're coming up to 98.7 Kiss. You like you came up, you were filling in for Red Alert, right?
Right.
In the beginning.
Right.
So what led up to 98.7 where you got that opportunity?
All right, so this is how it happened. Funkmaster Flex was Red Alert's apprentice first. Okay? And he was the guy who would so Red was, you know, Red is like the king DJ on the radio.
Right.
Like there's nobody bigger than him in New York. Him and Chuck, they ran Friday and Saturdays on the weekends. So R.O.A.D did a lot of conventions. Like they had Jack the Rapper, they had How Can I Be Down, they had the BRE, the Gavin, all these different music conferences.
Right.
So every time he needed to go to that, he needed somebody at home to fill in the slot. So I was the guy. So that was the birth of me, you know, I guess learning about New York culture, because I thought I knew it until I got to the radio.
How so? Like, explain.
Because then that's like when you grow up, look, I grew up in the Lower East Side, Harlem, and then Brooklyn, right?
Mm-hmm.
But by the time I was doing the radio stuff, I remember there were artists like M.O.P., there were artists like J. Will the Damager, artists like Smooth the Hustler, Trigger the Gambler, even the Black Moon guys, Smith and Wesson. That was our backyard. Those are the guys that lived in the neighborhood. So initially, that's what I was drawn to. But then across the water, there was these guys that were down like Rod Digger and them and Eminem. What were they called?
Outsiders.
The Outsiders. Like those guys were incredibly dope lyricists, but I didn't know where they were from. But I didn't understand it until the music started coming my way. It was like The Last Empire. It was Rod Digger. It was Eminem. And then I'm missing one or two names, but it was somebody in those clicks. When you got to hear that music, you'd be like, yo, these guys are spitting.
Young Z.
Yo, fire. Right. Fire. So it was kind of like, I'm trying to figure out a way how to keep it entertaining, but still keep it true to hip hop.
Right.
That was the hardest part.
So what got you in a position and what got you on the radar for you to even get the opportunity to get on 98.7?
Well, I was doing these clubs.
Yeah.
And I remember doing with R.O.A.D, I did the Brand Nubian album release party at the Octagon. And that was my first big night was really it was a place called the Candy Store. It was a made up party from this kid named Tuffy, who was the host of Video Music Box at the time. Now Tuffy ran with a bunch of promoters and people, whatever. And he came up with an idea and said, yo, E, I need you to do this party. It was him and the Love Brothers. And they were like, we want you to DJ with this party. A Sunday night hip hop party in New York. Never been done before. Before the tunnel, before anything. So we go
before Sundays were like, cause in New York
nobody partied on a Sunday.
Yeah, but like
not in hip hop.
But like Sundays in New York at one point became the standard for every hip hop night.
Yeah,
you know. So this is way before.
This is way before that, right? So anyway, I get a phone call from the local guys in my neighborhood. They call the Love Brothers. This kid named Jose, Eric, and Castro. They're the Love Brothers, but in real life they're the Delgado brothers. And they were like, he remembered the mix I did one time. It was like maybe like Sucker MCs with like After 7, some shit I did.
Yeah.
And he was like, yo, can you do that blend again? And I was like, I didn't understand where this is coming from. But he's like, do it on a cassette and let me get that. So then I did that mix and a couple of records, whatever, put on cassette for him. He took it to his brothers, and that was my tryout tape to be their DJ for the night.
Wow. So before that, you were kind of just like doing local shit.
Local shit. I was the homeboy around the way who didn't leave the block.
He was a neighborhood.
Yeah.
The neighborhood DJ.
Yeah.
That's what I was.
That was like your Q Juice tape, right?
That's it. Yeah. That's what it was. That's what it was.
I had the gloves on and everything.
So then we get there.
Yeah, you local.
Yeah, you local.
And this is Sunday night. There's probably 20 people in the party. The following week, another 20. The following week, maybe 50. And we're like, what's happening here? 3 weeks in a row, I'm DJing. I didn't get paid, nothing. So I'm over here like, the hottest party at the time was Thursday nights at the Red Zone. Yeah, but anyway, it was just crazy. Like,
wait, what was it?
It was
the Daddy's House party,
right?
If you're saying, yeah.
So Thursday nights was the party, and I think Kenny Ken was doing the door, and Kenny Ken's one of them club kids. The club kids ran the clubs, and that was the way it was. They wore funky boots and platforms. They had the best houses in the city. At this point, hip hop is only in little hip hop rooms, not the whole entire club's being played hip hop. No, we go to a big club. It could be whatever, but if you go to the back in the little room that holds like maybe 50 people or 100 people, that's where you play hip hop.
Separate entrance.
Yeah, it's true. That's kind of like what New York City was all about.
In Manhattan, right?
In Manhattan, primarily Manhattan, yes.
So Manhattan wasn't ready for hip hop yet.
No way. They were against it because it attracted us. The guys who wore the sheepskins, the guys who wore the jewelry, the guys who wore their hats backwards, the guys who wore their sneakers with no laces.
They had good reason because at that time you had like clubs that was like popping, Latin Quarter, underground. It was mad violence.
Mad violence.
So they was like kind of making sure that they kept their shit. So it would be like, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a bad rap. There was
truth.
bad shit going on.
Bad rap.
Yeah.
So anyway, I come up with an idea. This is where my marketing skills kicked in early as a DJ. So I'm figuring, all right, guys, you guys are not giving me money. This is the third week. We're going into a month now. I'm doing this for you guys. So I'm already pissed off. I'm like, I don't want to do this shit.
Right.
You know, they were supposed to pay me $300. I'm like, for me, I would have kept doing it for free at that point.
Yeah.
But I'm like, $300 for DJ?
That sounds like, like today's rates.
That's a lot. That's a lot of bread. Anyway, so I decide to get with Tuffy. We go to this Thursday night party at the Red Zone, and it's like a New Jack City party. Like it's like Christopher Williams is there, Wesley Snipes is there, the whole cast of the damn New Jack City's there, and it's a big party. And I'm going around I'm looking like Christopher Williams in my suit, and because the suit thing was a little bit popping back then. Mm-hmm. Like I remember my early parties, I stood on a nice jacket, a nice tie, because the New Jack Swing was the biggest thing. Heavy D was big, Teddy Riley was big, I'll Be Sure, Christopher Williams, they all had suits. And that was the look, that was the vibe. Mm-hmm. So anyway, me and Tuffy decide to print out 300 comp tickets.
Oh shit.
For our next event. And we hand them out to everybody at that New Jack City party.
Mm-hmm.
The following Sunday, I go to the club, and we were supposed to open at 11. At 10:30, there was a line around the corner.
Oh shit.
I'm like, oh, it worked. So that night, everybody from Shabba Ranks, De La Soul, Showbiz and AG, Nice and Smooth,
wow. They're
all at my party. All these famous icons, everybody I grew up listening to was at my party. And I remember I said this on the Juan Epstein podcast, so forgive me for you saying it twice, but I remember Dougie Fresh kind of like sunning me and schooling me at the same time.
Really?
Because he's like, why you DJ like that? So I'm like, what do you mean? What am I doing wrong? He's like, you got them going too crazy. You got to do this roller coaster thing with them. If not, you're going to burn them out. So I didn't understand what he meant.
Right.
I really didn't. I thought he was just hating on me. So I'm like, in my mind, yo, here is the greatest entertainer in the world, right here, busting my bubble about how I'm DJing, where I'm clearly looking at the crowd and seeing everybody go shit bananas. But he was right, because that would only last for 10 more minutes or 15 more minutes. You got to pace yourself.
Right.
I didn't learn that.
It's about like the arc of the whole night, right?
Yeah.
You got to bring it up, down, bring it up.
That's it.
They go to the bar, they get some drinks.
That's it.
They come back.
I didn't understand that. I was just on turn the fuck up mode, and I wanted that to last for 4 hours, but it wasn't gonna last.
100 for 4 hours.
Yeah, that's what it was. But but those are things you learn.
Right.
Look, when Goldfinger's here, I'm gonna say this about Goldfinger. Goldfinger's the first DJ that I've really watched play for women. Like strategically for women. And I never understood that. And I was like, why is he doing this? But I understood it later. But I understood it later because he was playing for the women, because the women run the party, man.
Yeah.
You play for them, guys are gonna dance anyway because they're chasing the pussy.
Right.
Exactly. So Goldie was ahead of his time about strictly playing for the women. Nah, it's true. He's guilty.
Goldie was probably complaining about that shit from jump.
He's guilty
when he was
about
going
that.
to clubs. Like, how come they ain't playing for the women, right?
Yeah, but like I learned from doing the block party, so you kind of got to get everybody, corral everybody in first.
Right.
The only way you can do that is you get the girls. You know what I mean?
So at the time, what were you strategically playing like early on? So you're like, yo, I'm gonna get the women into it first.
Anything that the women wanted.
Anyway, like,
because that stops a pissed off female is gonna piss off of her boyfriend or the guy that's trying to get some ass.
Right.
Then they're gonna be like, oh, he's whack because she's not gonna give me no rhythm. Mm-hmm. If she's happy, everybody's happy.
That's it. So the guys think they actually have a chance.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Bingo.
Wait, so you started building a name from these clubs and from that party.
Yes,
kind of launched your name.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
And then so you caught who'd you catch the ear of at 98.7 Kiss? Was it a program director or Red Alert or?
No, it was Red himself. Flex left to start Hot 97, and we all looked at him like he was crazy.
Right.
Because
he was with Red.
No.
Oh no.
Because at the time, Hot 97 was a dance station.
Right. Freestyle and shit.
Freestyle, dance, Judy Torres. We like, fuck you going over there for? We're not going over there. We playing hip hop.
Right.
You going to the dance station? Bah. So we, people laugh at Flex. Like, what was he going to do? But this is the fucked up part that people never talk about. The black programmers in America did the same shit that everybody did. It was like hip hop's a novelty. It's not gonna work. I don't give a fuck if you was from DC, Texas, California. They wasn't showing it the love they were supposed to show it. It was the white boys who did it first.
That's a
the
fact.
White boys were the ones to put hip hop on 24/7. And we're not talking about K-Day in LA. We're not talking about the AM dials and some of those early stations. We know they did it first.
Yes. Wait. So I remember we had the Baker Boys on.
Right.
And they were saying that they were the first commercial radio station to play hip hop, like really, kind of just like backpack underground hip hop.
I believe that to a certain degree.
To a certain degree, but then a lot of East Coast motherfuckers and New York motherfuckers was like, "Yo, you crazy!" Like that shit was everywhere. And I'm kind of thinking about it, like on a commercial level, like we had college radio, we had underground radio.
Right, you did.
Like that shit may have been around for a while, but on a commercial level. Right. Where it was like not like a mix show kind of thing, where it was like regular shit.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if we had that.
The Baker Boys were big, bro. They were big. They were big.
I think they might have beat New York by maybe a couple of months.
They were big in LA. They were big in Miami. They were big all over the place.
But that's kind of crazy, right? That like LA or Cali would beat.
Well, New York. It was so in New York that they had heritage stations. Like Kiss was a heritage R&B station. WBLS is a heritage R&B station. More R&B adult, you know what I mean? Like black station. So when Hot 97 flipped, they were flipping from basically a mainstream pop, Latin. It was like they took over for KTU, right?
So Hot 97's license is a rhythmic license, okay? So we're supposed to be playing rhythmic music.
Mm-hmm.
So
what is that technically?
It's like Rihanna, Neo,
like
Pitbull.
Rhythm and blues, R&B kind of. Right?
No, rhythmic, more like dance.
Oh, dance. Okay,
more dance. Our license is considered dance, and then for many years, when Power 105 came into the marketplace, because we ran shit for so long without no real competition, but then when they came, they were kind of just created to be a thorn in our side.
Yeah.
Because they were really created just to protect Z100.
Yeah.
That's all it really was.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So they were never really slated to be anything. They were just created so that way we could just
take a couple of points off the board every month, couple of months.
So Z100 could always be
that was our only
the king of the city.
job.
Yep. Really?
Yeah.
That's some like
it's weird, right?
That's some like presidential campaign shit.
Yeah, it is.
How to like
they won't say it, and Z100 or Clear Channel or iHeart would never admit to it.
I'm gonna tell you something. I was on Power 105 when it first came.
Yeah,
that's right. So they told us directly, like, we're not really trying to put a bunch of money into the situation. We just need a nice little joint so we can have
like a decoy
to be the number one.
Exactly.
Dang.
You said it right, like a decoy.
That's crazy.
So it was just enough for them to be rattled to where they had to kind of focus on us a little bit and take a little bit more of their resources away from them going at Z100.
Mm-hmm. That was crazy.
That's crazy.
Because my early days of radio, I remember listening to the radio stations. I don't care if it's PLJ in New York, KTU in New York, Hot 97, BLS. They played a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
But then as radio became so dominant and then the genres of music became more popular, they stopped doing that. They wanted to focus on something specifically. This is the station where hip-hop lives. This is the station where R&B lives. Yeah. This is the station where dance lives.
Because they can control the ad dollars better.
They were trying to do that.
By doing that, they know exactly where the money was going to be place that.
It's almost like they can get more specific demographics
100%.
Yeah.
on like what the crowd and who the listenership is, and then
Right.
they can get better ads.
Right.
Damn.
That's great.
Yeah. So anyway,
I'm fucking right.
I don't know where you want me to continue, but I'm doing this brand new Beam album release party.
Yeah.
Red's the main DJ. I'm the opening DJ, and then Red goes to the bathroom, and I step in to hold him down for a little bit. I didn't do my job. I did that same shit again. I got them excited and crazy. He's the headliner. I'm supposed to just.
You're supposed to be the opener.
I'm supposed to just keep it nice and easy while he goes to the bathroom.
Supposed to be the opener, huh?
You burn red alert.
And I
You
burned
burned Red Alert?
I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh my God.
But I didn't mean to do that. I was just doing me. So
You know that this is a problem even now to this
Yeah.
day.
it is there, right? Yeah.
It's the opening.
So I had to learn. I learned eventually, but initially that was mine.
But at the time, innocently,
Mhm.
at like being a young DJ, what were you thinking? You didn't think you were disrespecting, right?
Not at all. I was nervous if I didn't have the people dancing.
But from your perspective, thinking back, were you just like, I wanna do my thing, or
Yeah, that's it.
or
Well, he
were-
was more nervous about losing the room from what it sounds like.
That's it. Yeah,
That's
because
what it was.
Red left,
Yeah, so he's
if
like,
Red
how do I
leaves-
keep him here?
and then I'm in charge, and no one's dancing when he comes back.
right?
The ball.
I dropped the
Drop
ball.
the ball, yeah.
So I'm like, what the fuck?
So what did Red?
So you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't at that particular
Yeah,
moment.
yeah. So like when Red came back, did he tell you something?
Red didn't tell me something. His homeboys told me something. Like the Violators.
Oh man,
You know, they told me something. They were like,
nicely
they
or
were like, yeah, they did it nicely
Oh,
because they
okay.
know I was fam.
all right.
But it was like, yo, he's supposed to just, I'm like, oh, my bad. I didn't know that. But then Red got back on, and then I didn't finish DJing. I was done after that. So I was like, all right, cool.
Time's up, little man.
Yeah. But anyway, so it was that party and a few other parties that we did together. And then Red felt like I was ready.
But you learned after that. So when Red went took another bathroom break again, how did you approach it the next time? You just kept it
Nice and easy.
nice and easy.
Nice and easy.
Flowy.
Keep it steady.
That's it. It's
And
nice
but did you
easy.
also have to learn what was the nice and easy, keep it steady
Yes,
records?
of course.
Right.
R&B was always the cool out stuff in the beginning.
Right.
Yeah.
The build up to, the hip hop, because hip hop was always the aggressive stuff. And remember, in the 90s, hip hop was, even though it was still fun, it was aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
Red MF were loud. The Onyx guys were loud.
Of course.
Yeah.
Everything was loud.
Right.
It was just loud. That's the way it was.
Do you remember what was at the time when Red went to the bathroom break? What was maybe one of the biggest records?
Oh man, I don't remember that.
Nah.
Because back then we played classics, we played hip hop, we played reggae and dance hall. So it was a lot of stuff we were playing.
Right.
I could have took them everywhere.
And that was the best stuff too. Like that
was.
early 90s.
Yeah.
What?
There was a party I was doing on 23rd Street. It was called Spodiotes. I don't even know where the hell this club's at.
Odiotes?
You know where the U-Haul truck is, whatever, they park on 23rd and between 11th and 10th? It was right on that block. And I was at that party DJing, and then Red came to me. He had his poo-poo juice in his hand, which was Maya's rum and pineapple juice. That's what he called poo-poo
World
juice.
famous
That's his favorite drink.
I'm like, what is this?
Maya's rum is a Jamaican rum,
Yeah.
and then pineapple juice. That was his drink. So he has his juice in his hand. He comes to me, hey, I want you to, work with me over at Kiss FM.
Oh man.
You ready to do this for me?
Mm.
So he's asking me the question, but I keep playing him like, yo, get the fuck out of here. You're bugging. You're drunk. That's how excited I was inside, but I couldn't believe
You
it.
need to reassure him, so you're like,
Yeah,
nah,
I couldn't.
nah.
I was like, get out of here. Like, you're bugging. So all night, I'm like, fuck out of here. He's bugging. But then towards the end, when we were like packing up and he's like really serious, it's
Yeah,
quiet,
yeah.
there's nobody there. He was just chill. He was like, I'm really serious. All right, if you don't come by tomorrow, I'm gonna give it to somebody else. So I was like, oh shit.
Wow.
So I had to take him up on his offer, and I went.
Damn, what a moment.
Life changing.
Changed my life.
Yeah.
Life changing.
That's crazy. What'd you do? Like when you got home and shit? Were you able to sleep?
I probably shitted on myself.
You never got home,
Well, I'll
bro.
be honest with you, I was probably just shitted on myself.
It's such a big deal to be on 98.7 Kiss at that
Yo,
time.
think about it, guys.
you
There's
know?
no podcasting. There's no Spotify.
Nothing.
No
There's nothing.
Tidal.
No internet,
There's no,
no
Apple
nothing.
Music.
Yeah.
There's no nothing. Radio is everything.
You were like the voice of the city.
It was everything.
Especially Kiss FM. That's major.
Everything.
Kiss FM was so big. It was like back in the days they used to have the Kiss van.
Yeah.
They had the Kiss card, like a membership.
The stickers,
like it was
the
part of-
bumper sticker.
They would go to
All
all
that.
the schools and it was Kiss FM outside playing music.
Yeah.
So when Enuff got on the radio, that was a big fucking deal.
It was a big deal.
That
I
was
mean,
a big
you make the whole your whole crew proud, the whole block proud. the
Yo,
whole
everybody
neighborhood.
thought I was black for the first 3 years of my life. Everybody. They were like, yo, Enuff is black? He's Latino?
No, when we found
I'm
out
like,
that
what?
you were Latino, we felt proud. We were
Yeah.
like, oh, it's one of us. Because we didn't have no real Latino DJs out there that that looked like us and represented us.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh shit.
No, I got that too, man.
Yeah.
They
You
were
Spanish,
around,
bro?
but I just forgot.
You for real? You for real? You Spanish for real?
See?
Yeah. I was like, oh shit, enough
I
in
didn't know that.
Spanish.
I
We're
didn't
good. We thought Felly Fel was Spanish for a long time and he's not.
Me too.
Yeah. So Felly Fel is like Creole or something.
He's
like
Greek.
that. A Greek Creole or something like that. But we thought he looked Mexican. So I
I
was
thought
like,
it was.
we were like, yo. But then when we found enough was, I was like, all right, cool.
So then you were holding down 98.7. You were at Kiss FM. You're holding that down.
I had my job literally, if I'm lucky, 3 months.
3 months.
That's it. It didn't last that long.
And then because something.
Hot 97 ended up buying Kiss FM. So they shut down all the contracts. They shut down all the whatever it was. So then at this point, I'm literally working for the Kiss FM street team. I'm driving a van like he talked about. I'm going up and down to in stores and I'm bumping music really loud. And, you know, it was a thing. It was really a thing. And then I worked for the promo team. And I was like, this is the last job we could give you. After this, it's a freeze. We can't do no more. So in I think in the end of 94, in December, I think it was literally my last show. And I get this fax. Yo, a fax. A fax comes through the radio. Yeah, and for you guys who know what fax is, it's a piece of paper that comes through the internet lines.
It looks like a copy machine, but
Yeah.
it shoots it with
So
information.
anyway, it's these promoters from Switzerland, and they're trying to book DJ Enuff to do a gig out in Switzerland. I'm like, hell yeah, let's do it. But initially, I was like, what the fuck I'm gonna do in Switzerland?
Yeah.
Because in my mind, I'm thinking of Switzerland. You know what I'm thinking of?
Cheese.
White girls,
Yeah.
blue eyes, blonde hair, yogurt, cheese,
Yeah.
and
It's a
fucking
yogurt cheese.
and,
Yogurt,
and
cheese.
chocolate. Yogurt, cheese, and chocolate.
Yeah.
That's what
And the Swiss knife.
That's what I thought about. I'm like, what? They ain't gonna like hip hop when I go out there. When I go out there, I go to a city called Lausanne, and this is what changed my life too. I do the party, I body the party. This is fucking like one of my best parties I ever did in my life. And the crazy shit is they don't even speak English. They speak French, they speak Dutch, they speak all these different languages, but they knew Guru, they knew J. Rue the Damager, they knew fucking Smooth the Hustler,
P-Rock,
they knew
all that
P-Rock,
shit,
they knew
yeah.
everything.
All the
bro,
foundation
hip-hop.
shit is Zurich is
So I'm
really
like,
big.
what the fuck?
So
It was
you're
nuts.
so were you like playing, and as you were like playing, you're like, let me see if they notice, and then you drop and you're like,
Bro,
oh shit, they
knew
know,
everything.
and then you're like, let me see if they know this, and you're like, they know, and then
Yeah,
it's like,
it's
wow,
crazy.
Wait, how many crates did you bring? Or how did you know what to bring?
Probably like 8 at the time.
it's crazy.
8 crates?
Yeah, we probably had mad overages on weight, but we didn't give a fuck.
They pay for everything.
They paid
right?
for everything, yeah.
How much? Do you remember how much you got paid for that? What was it?
That was probably like $2,000, $3,000 something at that time.
That's crazy.
Damn.
Yeah.
Do you remember how many?
94.
How many people it was?
How many people came with you?
Yeah, 8
I think
crates
I went
is a
by
lot.
myself.
Really?
No.
I didn't have no entourage at that time.
With 8 crates?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yo,
Damn.
bro, when you get
That's
booked,
brave.
they have everybody. They got guys who carry your crates. They got guys who carry your robe. They got guys that carry everything.
Your robe?
Yeah, they carry everything.
Did you ever ask where they heard you? From Kiss FM?
It was all mixtapes.
Mm.
No, but from the radio. they would record the radio.
They would record your show.
And they would sell them at the record store.
Damn.
Oh, shit.
You were the Switz Bobby.
So then I'm there talking to the promoters. They're like, how come DJ Clue don't come here? How come Doo-Wop don't come here? How come Ron G don't come here? I said, you should talk to them. The only person that comes is Red Alert, Tony Touch. That's it. So I was like, oh, shit. Mr. C didn't go. Nobody.
It's early.
It's just early,
it's 94,
bro.
yeah.
What was
early.
the thinking in their side of like, yo, like, why am I gonna fly all the way there? Or was it?
I have no idea, bro.
Wow.
But I was, and then when I came back, when I saw the DJs, I'm like, yo, they want to book you out there. Y'all better go out there. There's money out there for y'all. But I don't think they got it until a few years later.
So exactly, when you say it changed your life, what did it do? It just broadened your horizons?
Well, so
yeah.
So now I'm starting to go overseas, right? It's the very beginning of my passport getting stamped for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
But I meet a French disc jockey, and this nigga is nice. His name is Cut Killer. You ever heard of him? DJ Cut Killer?
No.
You should Google him. Anyway, his name is DJ Cut Killer.
You know him, Goldie.
Right?
He's to order records from the store.
So this guy's fire. He's like the Marley Marl and Funkmaster Flex of France. And he DJs for underground radio, clubs. He DJs for artists. He produces. He's the guy.
So like Tim Westwood is in England.
Yeah, I know
he would
Tim.
be that version in France.
So that dude ends up linking with me at this party, and he's like, "Hey, what you doing next week? I want you to come to Paris."
Wow.
I mean, I could just stay here for a few more days, and we'll just take the train over. And that's what we did. And then
just like that.
And then I went to Paris every year, multiple towns. Like that was I probably went there like 15 times in my life, just like every year, Paris. And I did these festivals before I knew they were even called festivals. I would DJ, there'd be like these big tents, and they have 10,000 people in this tent, 10,000 people in this tent, all sponsored by like Perrier water, and they have ambulance and paramedic people outside the tents with oxygen tanks. All kinds of weird shit. I'm like, what's going on here? Because this is not New York clubbing. This is now I'm like European festival.
Right.
But they didn't call it festivals back then. It was just a big party.
They would have raves, but that was like the
That's
beginning of that.
That's it.
Sounds like
You know what I
EDC, but
Exactly.
in France.
Yeah.
It's just like kind of like that rave energy.
Yeah.
And you know what the crazy part is? France didn't even need a hip hop scene.
They really did.
Their hip hop scene was probably ranked number 2 in the world. You know what I'm saying? They had like Jetem and a bunch of other famous artists. I did 2 albums in Paris, France.
Wow.
Yeah. They're not great albums, but I did 2 of them.
Not my best work, but it's out there.
What was the first French MC I met? MC Solar?
Yeah.
Was it MC Solar? Yeah, that was like when we were just like, oh shit, I didn't know they had hip hop in France.
Big.
So like this just brought you in on an international.
So now I'm on some international shit.
And this is before Big?
This is all before Big.
Jeez.
That's why I see when people like ask me about my big stories when I first got down with him, Puffy asked me if I want to be his DJ. I said, let me think about it. So they see you how you laughed?
Yeah.
Biggie wasn't Biggie yet.
Right.
He only had Unbelievable, maybe Juicy out at the time.
And he was doing the freestyles and shit.
That's it, a couple of
the
freestyles. But he wasn't the Biggie One More Chance guy. He wasn't the Big Papa guy yet.
But even Juicy, though.
Not even, but still. I knew what he would become, but he wasn't there yet. So in my mind, I'm like, let me figure out what Enuff wants to do with his career first before I chase somebody else with their career.
So wait, where did Puffy hit you up? Where did he hit you?
All right, so Hot 97 used to do this thing called the Players Ball. It was their take on the Players Ball.
Because you were DJing with for Biggie before you even came to Hot 97, or were you on Hot 97?
No, my first introduction to Biggie is I was doing Kiss FM. I'm on Kiss FM at this time.
Mm-hmm.
I got a radio show, and my host is Supernatural, the freestyle guy.
Right, yeah.
Supernatural.
That's my host. I'm the DJ. And then along my squad at the time is the Bomb Squad. So it's me, Supernatural, this kid named The Eno, the native one, and it was DJ Ace. DJ Ace, the crowd motivator?
Crowd motivator, yes.
Yeah, DJ Ace. That was the lineup for Kiss FM in the evenings.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
because I was looking at the timeline.
Yeah.
You didn't join Hot 97 till like 98.
Yeah, 98.
So
August of 98.
August of 98. So I was thinking you had to have linked up with Biggie like somewhere on
Kiss FM days.
Kiss FM days.
Yeah, 94.
And he just heard you on the, and he.
Nah, that's not what happened.
What happened?
What happened was Big was trying to get into this party. There was a club called whatever Suede used to be on 13th Street.
Yeah.
Between Park and Broadway, whatever. There was a club there.
14th Street, Suede.
13th Street.
13th Street.
It's where the if behind the movie theater.
Behind the movie theater. You talking about the Grand?
Yes.
The Grand.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
But it was called something else later. After the
Bank?
Grand. No, it wasn't the Bank.
No, the Grand.
It was the Grand.
It was America.
It was pink,
America once.
Pink Pussycat or Pink something cat, Black Cat.
It was America once. It was the Grand. It was the All right, so just tell a story. And
Anyway, so
I'll pick it up.
This party is really one of the highest, the flyest party at the time.
Right.
And the promoters at the time was Noel, Truesdale, Chris Truesdale, the guys who kind of they ran this party called Soul Kitchen.
Right.
And Frankie Iglesias was a DJ. And it was predominantly like a white party.
Mm-hmm.
But my beef with it always was like, look at these fucking culture vultures. You guys are taking our culture and then you won't let the black kids in. What kind of shit is that? To me, that's the foulest shit.
Yeah.
So anyway, Biggie's trying to get into the party with the guys from MOP. Right?
Jesus.
They got Carl Kanai on, hoodies,
Right.
Tim's, big ass jeans. They don't look nothing like the white downtown kids that go to these parties.
Yeah, for sure.
So I talked to Noel and Chris. I said, yo, this is Biggie Smalls. He's a brand new artist. He's Puff's artist. He's literally his first artist on Uptown MCA. This is before Bad Boy.
Mm-hmm.
And then I co-signed him getting in. And then Big remembered me for the rest of my life because I got him into the club.
Right.
That's it. That's all it was that. And then because of that, he said, yo, bro, I know you're on the radio. Here goes my album. Do what you got to do with it.
He gave you Ready to Die?
On cassette.
How long before it came out?
Maybe a couple of months.
Oh,
So peep
shit.
this. So now I have the entire Ready to Die in my palm of my hands.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I take it to the guys on the radio. They clean the whole shit up.
They wiped it.
No.
No.
They
clean versions.
Clean versions.
They make
They're radio edits.
Oh my God. Okay.
So,
they recorded over the tape. It's like, come on.
so that following Monday or Tuesday, I'm on the radio, 10 p.m.
Oh shit.
Juicy, Big Papa. I'm playing it all. The hotline calls. It's Puffy.
Yo, Playboy.
Yo, what the fuck are you doing? No, it's not Playboy. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, what?
Yo, he called the hotline as a listener, bro.
Yeah. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? He's cursing out. He's cursing me the fuck out.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you? Now look, I'm young DJ enough. I didn't know what it was to schedule a song's release, the marketing behind it, whatever it was, billboards, ads, whatever money it took to get things placed and set up so that they could roll out a project.
Right.
I didn't know what that was.
You just got
Well,
I got hot shit. I want to play.
No, well, Biggie just said, do what you
Biggie's
do.
my guy.
Oh,
So
good time.
Biggie's
Yeah.
like, yo, do what you gotta do.
Do what you gotta do.
And I did.
Anything goes.
And I did.
Any DJ would
Biggie didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, I think anybody
You know what I
would've
mean?
done
Yo,
that shit.
That was the
Biggie-
Wild Wild West right there.
Biggie didn't give
Any
a
DJ
fuck.
would-
Biggie
yeah.
was happy.
Yeah.
Right.
that
To hear his
somebody
shit
was
on the
gonna-
radio.
Somebody was gonna play his shit.
Right.
And maybe Big was just waiting too long. You know what that feels like? You got an album that's gonna come out.
Right.
And it's never coming out.
Right.
And you feel like it's months and it's still not coming out. The mastering, the cleaning, the radio edits, the artwork for every single, whatever the fuck that
Well,
takes.
in the movie Notorious, Biggie was frustrated with Puff for a while,
Right.
Because the shit was just getting like shelved in a way,
Right.
And then he gave him that big ass check, and he's like, "Okay, something's happening." out of
Right.
this.
So I think that was the period. So anyway,
So you were the catalyst.
so Puff is yelling at me, cursing, and in my mind, I'm literally fresh off the mixtapes, right?
right.
I'm watching SNS do it with all the fucking records he broke. I watch Clue do it. I watch all these mixtape DJs break the rules, break the law on ethical everything hip hop,
This is my time.
and they all became famous because of it. So I'm like, fuck, it's my turn.
Yeah.
Let me just go for it. Anyway, so
and then Puff.
then Puff is cursing me out. I don't even know if this guy wants to fuck with me ever. Like he might be sending goons after me for far as I know. And then this fucking Players Ball shit happens in Atlantic City. That same weekend, Mary J. Blige is releasing her My Life album. One of the biggest albums of her career, right?
One of my favorite albums of all
Right.
time. Yeah.
So I'm there, and I DJ'd some functions at the Players Ball. Now I'm gambling with Miss Jones, Ed Lover, and Kurt Flirt. Like this is the people I'm around. And then Puff sees me. Hey yo, now, hey yo, Playboy.
Now Playboy.
I'm like,
now I'm Playboy. I'm not motherfucker.
so I'm like, so I'm thinking in mind, what the fuck he wants now? Clark is leaving. I think we need a DJ, man. And Big talked about you a lot, man. I think he wants you to go on the road with him. You down? So I'm like, oh shit. I said, yeah, let me think about it. I'll get back to you. So he's like, think about it. Like he feels like I disrespected him now.
Right.
But I'm like, yo, I really got to check, like, what's happening here? Yo, bro, I've seen a gazillion artists come out.
Right.
They come out with one record today and they gone tomorrow. So why am I banking everything on Big? I don't know him yet. I only heard a few joints. They were great joints, but he's not Biggie yet.
That's so crazy.
It's crazy, right? I'm saying this story, right?
Bro, I was born in '89, so I'm like, look at to me. Big
Yeah, so he's not
Big.
Biggie. He's not B.I.G. yet. And then whatever, I ended up talking to Jessica. She was my manager at the time.
Jessica Rosenblum.
Yes, Jessica Rosenblum from Stress Entertainment.
Happy birthday, Jess.
And we had a long talk about it. And she's like, E, just do it. It's going to be, it's important. It's Puff. It's da-da-da-da.
So she told you to do it.
It was kind of like her, like, you got to do this. So I was like, all right, let's do it. And I did it. And then I never looked back. It was just dope watching him grow. It was really dope. I got to see him city after city get bigger and bigger. And not physically bigger, just like, like his music's just getting bigger and bigger. And then I remember there was a time we were going to Detroit, and Big was like, yo, you can't look like this. I'm like, what are you talking about? I got Tim's on, some jeans, and a shirt. He's like, nah, Playboy, we got to get you some fly stuff. I think he bought me like a Versace shirt or a fake Versace shirt.
The silk ones, huh?
Whatever, it was silk. And then he bought me some fresh, brand new Tims with the jeans. They all had like baller hats, and I was like, I wasn't gonna wear no hat.
Was this first album still or second album?
First album?
First album.
Oh,
Ready
okay.
But
Detroit is different out there.
But we were
The
going to
culture.
Detroit.
Yeah, culture's
And
different.
everybody in Detroit was on some player.
Oh,
Like they were wearing gaiters and shoes and all that. And then this is when I started to see him switch up his style. And then when the Big Papa record dropped, he really switched his style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It a
He was
wrap.
wearing full Coogis, and I remember
I can't go with that.
the promoters that I talked about at my first party, the Love Brothers.
Yeah.
The Love Brothers had an event one time, like a private event somewhere. And I remember for the first time we saw guys with Coogee sweaters. And the Coogee sweaters were like probably like bright orange and yellow, but they had the matching gaiters. I remember us looking at them, like laughing at them, like look what the fuck they wearing. But it was some fly shit, but
Right.
they were just ahead of their time.
Bill Cosby used to wear the Coogee sweaters.
Yeah.
And then when it started like to come back,
Right.
the big guys started wearing it. It was like, oh shit. It was like,
Yeah.
yo, this shit is,
Yeah.
this is some expensive
So
Australian.
it's that vibe.
Yeah.
And the parties that we were doing were high end player parties. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Like people were stepping and they were doing their 2 steps and
Play slow jams at the party. And
R. Kelly was a big deal back around that time, and remember Big had that record with R. Kelly.
Yeah.
So it was all that. It was just watching them grow and watching them get into this space.
Wait, did like in his circle? Who were you seeing around in his circle? I know was Little C's with him.
Little C's was always with him.
And then
It was a kid named Money L.
Was Rube and D-Rock there?
D-Rock was there. Rube was around too.
And did you see him like interacting with like Pac? Was Pac around and shit like that?
Pac was around early. And Pac used to always love being around the Junior Mafia guys. And he loved going to the bodega stores in the city. And he loved them Spanish girls. Pac was always like, yo, where the Spanish girls at? And they would smoke them Newports. And always, it was just funny watching them all go through that. To me, it was crazy.
It's funny because Cypher Sound says that Junior Mafia would always be playing Tupac.
All the time.
And it was like, yo, he's dissing you. Like, why are you playing this? But now I kind of get it. They're hanging out so much. Yeah, that was his boys.
Yeah.
So then you were on tour with Biggie for how long now? How many months?
At this time,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Did you do the whole?
Was it like
career?
a year?
No. Once I got with him, I DJ'd with him to the end till he died.
So you were basically his DJ.
I was his last DJ. Clark Kent was his first DJ. Clark Kent was the guy who set up his first tour, and he was the one who gave him his show. So all I was doing was copying what Clark built. That's it. It's that simple.
Wow. So then
all on vinyl.
So you were there during the whole process of Life After Death and all that, with the recording and everything.
It was
All right, so let me get into my shit. I gotta give my man.
This is why he's here.
All right, so we're in Brooklyn, so we know we got a Brooklyn DJ. We already had a Brooklyn DJ with Clark that was fucking with Big.
Right.
So when Clark stopped doing the tour, niggas is like, this, yo, who's he gonna have as his DJ? He gets Enuff. Enuff is his DJ. Then we find out Enuff is doing beats for Big.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tell him when you did the joint for You're Nobody.
Well, before that, I did the Get Money remix first.
Yes, he did.
Oh, wow.
Did the Get Money remix.
So the Get Money remix was created like this. I was listening to a lot of mixtapes, and I remember Doo-Wop 95 Live Freestyle Part 2, whatever it was. I forgot who he had. Somebody was rapping on the Dennis Edwards beat, Don't Look Any Further.
Don't look any further.
And
right.
Big's like, he's knocking his head like this. He's like, Enough, we got to do that. So I did that. And then me and my partner Jiv's from Flatbush too. So me and Jiv, we chopped up Dennis Edwards, Don't Look Any Further. But we chopped the shit up, like really chopped it up.
On some Premiere shit?
Yeah, broke it down, whatever. Big was like, And we like, what the fuck? Because we weren't on some, we didn't want to be called what what was the name?
Sampling?
The jacking, looping, a
shit.
big loop.
Yeah.
We didn't want that. But Big's idea was, yo, dog, Billy Preston, Dennis Edwards, and these guys, they're gonna charge you the same rate whether you take this little piece or you take the whole shit. Take the whole shit. So I was like,
so he kind of wanted you to do what he did with Juicy.
kind of.
Just basically take the rest.
But Big was a groove guy, man. He's
all I did
there and get that groove going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
All I did was change the shakes up, and then I filtered the bass lines, and that's it. But that's what we did.
Damn. Did he want you to give him input in what kind of music he should go out for the single or like?
No, we didn't get that deep because that's where the block came in because Puff would come in and take over that. But in my own time, yes. You know, when we're, because remember, I'm the disc jockey, right?
Yeah.
So he'd always be like, what you got? What's new? And he want to hear everybody else's shit. Just so he felt like he was up on it. So that was my exciting relationship with him. So every time I got in the car, I had to put in a fresh mix or somebody's tape, or I got this brand new from Busta. I got this from Nas. He wanted to hear all of that. He wanted to make sure. That's it.
Was there anyone that you put him onto that like really kind of like he was just
no.
like, nah?
But you know what? I did a freestyle session one time in my crib. It was with this kid named Freshco. Now, for you guys who know who Freshco was the 1992 New Music Seminar champion.
Ain't you Freshco?
Yeah, he's from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And his DJ was Miz, who ended up became
from Philly.
He was the New Music some DJ champion. So on the way to the crib, I got Freshco coming, I got Big coming. Big was like, you got me with Freshco? Nah, he was like saying like, this guy Freshco's a problem. So he was nervous. So I'm like, nervous? But then when he got there, he was fine, bro. But initially on his way to the crib, he was nervous.
You never seen that shit before?
I never seen that before, ever.
Yo, Big used to come into B Street and he used to buy a lot of tapes. Like everybody shit. Like he was up on everybody.
Yeah, he was a connoisseur of music.
He was a connoisseur. He was a student, like a real student.
Wow.
Real student.
He just come to you like, Goalie, what's new? What's popping?
No, he would come through. He bought all the mixtapes that was out. He wanted to hear the competition, but he would also have his, his joints where he would buy records. Like
he didn't get nervous when Jay-Z came out?
What's that?
He didn't get nervous when he heard Jay-Z?
Like Reasonable
I don't
Doubt
think
and all
so.
that?
Or that didn't shake him up?
Nah, they were homeboys.
It was
still like
and Jay-Z was kind of out.
Nah, but they saw each other on the road. Like some of my magical moments is like we did BAM together. So I was DJing for Big. Irv Gotti was DJing for Jay at the time because he had.
That's crazy.
Remember, Irv was doing A&R work, and I think he had
Mike Geronimo.
He had Dumb. But then he also worked that Murdergram, whatever record. Remember, it was DMX.
Yeah.
It was Jay-Z and somebody else.
Ja Rule.
Yeah, it was those three. So like to see kind of like that, like, oh shit, DJ Irv, DJ Enuff, and then you got Jay, I got Big. To me, those were monumental moments. Like, but it was a lot of respect. Like you would see Big go, "What up, Playboy?" And then later on, they were working on the commission. They were really working on the commission. That was really a thing.
Let's talk about that because I don't know if everyone knows about the commission.
They don't get it, bro.
Like,
look, from what I remember, Big was trying to shape Charlie Baltimore to be the next La Femme Nikita in rap.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you know who La Femme Nikita is?
No,
it's a movie. It's a movie. Go watch the movie.
I told you I was born in '89. Enough.
It's the same director who did Professional.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
it's like that.
It's the French director. It was the first time. What was the American version with that actress?
Professional.
The Professional. But no, the female version of La Femme Nikita, they did an American version.
Oh, I don't know that. All I remember was the foreign one.
Yeah.
I'm
but
sorry.
Yeah. But it was the same director. Yeah.
So that was the vibe. And then I remember Big Kim saying, "Yo, when the commission stuff come out, we gonna change the game." And I was like, but I didn't get it because I wasn't ready. I didn't understand I saw some of the blueprint, but I didn't get all of it. But he was helping.
And the commission was
Jay-Z, Biggie, and Charlie Baltimore. That's it, just them three.
Which is basically kind of like the Firm.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Before the Firm.
An early version of the Firm.
Exactly.
All right, hold on before you go any further. Tell them about the song Nobody. Because you got to remember, when Enuff does this joint, this is 95, 96, and his album comes out in 97. So he's done this song he's sitting on the song for
2 years.
About a year and a half, 2 years at least.
Damn.
See, this is what people don't get, as far as like when they talk about like the Who Shot You. Like, we all know Who Shot You wasn't a diss record because that record had been done. But there's no social media, you know what I mean? To tell you, you know what I mean? Like everybody gets it like, oh, he just made that record. Nah, man. These records were done a year and a half before they came out.
I was to your knowledge, when was Who Shot You done before the incident had happened with Quad Studios, Pac, and all that shit?
That shit was done way before that.
Way before that.
You gotta understand also, like, a lot of this music took like months to like distribute,
of course,
and manufacture and come out. It's
even just to record the process is different.
It's just like the timing of it is just crazy.
Yeah.
Because it's not even like people were recording while they were touring back then. It was just
the only thing I didn't get until years later.
Yeah,
was whatever subliminals he was throwing shots at people. I didn't get that until later.
Well, what Biggie?
Yeah, they all do it. Jay did it to Big, Big did it to Jay, Nas did it to Big, Big did it to Nas. They all do it to each other.
Man, that shit's been going on since hip hop started, bro.
Just the competitor.
It's not Drake didn't start it.
Yeah.
Drake didn't start it back to back.
You're like Drake with the subliminals. It's always been around.
So petty.
Mm-hmm.
That's freaking.
I mean, even like I think one of the more prominent ones when I was coming up was like just Jay like dissing Mace. Remember? He's like,
I don't remember that.
When he was on the Hard Knock Life, he was just like, look at your own video, you always be number 2.
Oh, shit.
And they were talking about they can't hold me down.
I think it's just a competitor.
And he had a jersey, and Puff was number 1, and Mace was number 2. And he was like, look at your own video, you always be number 2. And there was those like little shots, and we were like, oh shit, Brooklyn Harlem shit.
That's crazy,
man. So like, you do doing production with Big, you were DJing with Big. The album's like the double album. He's talking to you about the double album. You're in the studio. You're witnessing a lot of the recording. You're seeing all of this come together.
I remember I was at the session when they were doing More Money, More Problems. And I was like, in my mind, I'm like, this shit is weird. There's no way they're going to rap to this shit. I'm hearing the beat loop and the way it broke down.
Yeah.
I'm like, this shit ain't going to work. I was way off. I didn't even like Hypnotized when I first heard it.
Really?
No.
You bugging.
You know why?
For real.
Nah, you know why?
This is why.
We say that now, but all the origin hip hop fans of Biggie,
right?
We were on our boom bap shit.
Right,
if the shit didn't sound like DJ Premier and 10 Crack Commandments or Unbelievable or Easy Mo B, like some real Brooklyn boom bap shit.
Yeah.
We didn't.
Because let's be honest.
Look, Herb Albert is fucking Rise. It's a fucking jazz record. Like, I mean, it's fire now because Biggie made it fire, but it's just a different pocket.
Because when that album, that double album dropped, all the like, even me, the OG hip hop heads, we love Kicking the Door because we understood that record.
See, that's what I'm saying.
And then later we started seeing like, oh shit, like Hypnotize is like.
It wasn't until later I like Hypnotize.
Yeah,
In the beginning, I was like,
because when we saw the video for Hypnotize, we were like, wow, he's doing this shit. Right? He's on this shit now. It's on boats,
big yacht, big boats, big cars, chasing scenes. With the Versace shirts.
Yeah.
You know.
So you were listening, you were like, this shit is weird.
And my brain, I'm like, yeah, this is nuts, bro. I'm like, I don't know.
And this is crazy. He got a record on the actual album.
It's nuts.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, how do you feel like knowing that this is something that you got? Like, you already got the Junior Mafia, the Get Money joint, but this is all big. How does that feel?
I mean, it feels amazing because I'm part of history. Yeah. And for me, it was always like, whenever I got into this music game and being a DJ, I was always worried about my contribution to hip hop. I looked at like Special K, Teddy Ted, the world famous Supreme Team. I looked at, like I said, the Frankie Crockers, Red Alerts, the Chuck Chillouts, and I was like, I wonder if people in the future would feel about me the same way I felt about them. That's the honest truth. I just wanted my name on the wall. The writing on the wall, the credits. I always wanted that. That's it. I just wanted somebody to be like, yo, this guy, he protected hip-hop, or he supported hip-hop, and he helped flourish it to grow. That's all I wanted. That's it.
So, when you say you're worried about your contributions and what you're putting in, did you also feel like there was a judgment with like, I'm kind of, I'm Latin or I'm Latino, and then
a little bit.
Initially,
no. But then later on, yes. Because then, like I would get some resistance from some of my friends, but not all of my friends. But the same way kids would play it and talk about you in the schoolyard, it's the same shit in real life. It's the same shit. Sometimes just whatever. I might get the, yo, mira, what you doing, bro? You don't know about this.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
It carries with you.
Yeah, that kind of shit. Or like when me and Camilla were like one of the first Cypher Sounds also, were like us three, we really championed Pitbull, right?
Yeah.
Pitbull, when we first hear Pitbull was a straight MC.
Yeah.
He wasn't a dance dude. He was a spitter. And when we were trying to get him on, it wasn't working. I don't know how. But then when the dance shit came, he just took off. So I don't know if that was the people who saw him that way, or only accepted him for a certain type of music.
Right.
But that's just the way it is sometimes.
Yeah. It's funny, like I was, with the 50 years of hip hop and the 50th anniversary of hip hop last year, there was like these weird conversations on the internet, right?
Yeah.
That it was like, obviously it's black music, of course, but like, Puerto Ricans, Latinos been a part of like the hip hop culture since jump. But there was this conversation of like, yo, they were just there for the ride, but they didn't really, they weren't a part of it. And me being from New York, I feel like sometimes people down south or in the Midwest, maybe they don't understand exactly how integrated the Bronx was, or like how integrated these neighborhoods were.
They don't.
With Puerto Ricans and black people, and how like, even to this day, like I grew up on like Puerto Ricans saying the N-word. You know what I'm saying? It was just one of those things where they were just together.
Right.
And, obviously everyone talks shit about who are you from, and, it's just about breaking balls. But I just think the conversation was weird, and to have that come up, especially now.
When I go to the South with Big, that was the first time I heard the term Redbone. They'd be like, yo, Redbone. The girls would be like, yeah, hey, Redbone, come over here. I'm like, who the fuck are they talking to? I'm like, they're talking to you. I'm like, me?
You are the Redbone.
What the fuck is Redbone? So I didn't know what that term meant.
That's funny.
And then years later, I found out that's me. I'm the Redbone guy.
But you feel that stigma? Like, is it weird to see that come up to this day? That conversation?
Unfortunately, that's just the way it is.
It is.
As much as we try not to play the race card,
the
race card is always going to be around. And look, tribes, period. I don't give a fuck where you from. You're comfortable around your own people. That's just the way it is. That's just the way life is. It's always been like that. The dark-skinned kids want to be with the dark-skinned kids. When they see the light-skinned kids, they're like, they look different. They can't be like us. It's just, you're basing it on the color and texture of their skin. That's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
And in real life, that shit still happens to this day. How many times I'll go into a store and then someone's walking around, what are you buying? What are you getting? Are you getting anything? Like, that shit to this day, that shit happens to this day still. It's 2024, bro. That shit still happens to this day. All that early shit that we learned and do the right thing, all those racial tensions in the neighborhood, that shit is still around. It's fucked up, but it's still around.
Yeah.
At what point did you feel like you had to represent for your Latin side in the hip hop culture where you had to kind of like wave your flag?
When I started to notice that there was a big Latin fusion happening, right? I saw J-Lo come in the game and she was big. Then Fat Joe came in with Big Pun and they were big. And then I started to see like, other Latin people, period. Not just in music, but like comedians and then TV actors and movie stars. So I started to see the big influence of Latins, period, come across the board. In 2004, the New York Post asked me to be a part of a photo that was a reenactment of the old jazz portrait they did in Harlem.
Mm-hmm.
The
Great Day in Jazz.
The Great Day in Jazz, whatever.
When they're in front of the brownstone.
Right.
Yeah.
So we did a mock version of that in front of the museum, El Barrio, their museum or some shit in Harlem, Spanish Harlem. So it was the only people that were invited were the New York Puerto Rican Latinos. And I was like, that's kind of weird. I was like, no, we wanted specifically to be New Yorkers, but of Latin descent, but specifically from Puerto Rico. So then I'm in this photo with like fucking Jimmy Smits, who was a big actor on LA Law.
Mm-hmm.
Then he ended up being the dad in The Heights.
Mm-hmm.
And then like there's a whole bunch of famous like Chita Rivera and Rita Moreno and those people, and then Audrey Puentes and Tito Puentes' daughter and son, and Angie Martinez, Crazy Legs, Tony Touch, Doo-Wop, Rosie Perez. Like, this is a big deal. I'm like, wow, I'm among some of the big dogs. So when some of that stuff started to happen, I started to notice that it was a big deal.
Yeah, because like when Oye Mi Canto came out in LA, it was like, we didn't know Puerto Ricans really.
Right.
There's no Puerto Ricans, no Dominicans like that.
Mm-hmm.
But we start seeing that on TV and on the videos and the music. And I'm like, oh shit, like this is different. And then when we see you, and then even like Camilo, like we didn't see many Latin DJs being represented to us like that. So I was just like, oh shit, like.
But I should catch flack a little bit, like on some funny shit. Yo, what's up, man? You got to be Latin to be in your crew? I'll be like, nah, man. Who said that? No, it just seems like that. I said, that's because you guys are focusing on that. And if you look at the crew, my crew's very diverse.
You're talking about the heavy hitters?
Yes.
Let's talk about the heavy hitters. Let's talk about when did you feel like you needed to crew up? Because I know you were in a crew before.
To be honest with you, my first crew I was ever down with was the Flip Squad DJs.
Flip Squad.
Everybody thought that was a Funk Master Flex creation, but it wasn't. It was a Jessica Rosenblum.
I thought it was a Flex. From the outside. From the outside.
It was managed by Jessica.
So Flex Flex ended up being the big dog in our crew.
Yeah.
And honestly, everything went to him. So that's how we all felt. So there was a little bit of jealousy from day one between all the DJs and Flex.
Right.
Because Flex always got the best looks, the best nightclubs, the best everything, the best deals, the corporate everything. He had his shoe deal, his sneaker deal, his starter deal, his record deals. Everything was him.
Yeah.
He
So
was
then
the car shows, all
yeah.
that.
So then you a young DJ in his organization. You're like, yo, I just want to be here. I want to get a little look.
Right.
And that's kind of like what it was all about.
He gets first dibs. He eats first. Kind
everything.
of shit. Yeah.
It was always that. So Jessica had to deal with that bullshit.
Can we talk a little bit about Jessica Rosenblum? Like,
I mean, you can.
Actually, I've always wanted to have her on, but her name comes up all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if even some motherfuckers in New York. I know motherfuckers definitely outside of New York I don't think they understand the weight, and that name comes up so often.
Yeah.
In this episode, even you don't really understand.
I met her and I didn't even know what she represented. Really,
yeah, because you would hang out with you was homies with Quincy.
She's a serious. Without her, a lot of shit wouldn't have happened in the city. I think she was the door lady at Nell's back in the days, and I remember her bitching and complaining about, as powerful as she was, that sometimes she still needed help from the boys. Those boys were like Chris Lighty, Puff Daddy, and a few others, whether it was Andre Harrell and a few others around. Because what you guys don't know is sometimes when some of the big black promoters or the black producers were trying to get rooms, nobody would give them the room.
Right.
But Jessica was the face. So then we got the room because she was a white Jewish girl, hey. And owners are easier to give the room to a person like her than to a Puff Daddy.
Right.
That's just the way it was.
And then, so she's the one that kind of manifested this squad.
Yeah.
Shaw.
I think so, yeah.
And who was the squad again? It was
Riz. Doo-Wop.
Legend.
Frankie Cutlass.
Legend.
Mr. C.
Legend.
Mark Ronson.
Legend.
DJ Enuff. Biz Markie.
Recipes.
Legend.
Cypher Sounds.
Legend.
Mad Wayne.
Yeah.
Mad Wayne.
Yeah.
Mr. Excitement, was he in your?
Mr. Excitement.
Yeah, but he was really more flexible.
Right, okay, got you.
They ran the record pool.
I'm trying to remember the Flip Squad. I remember they had the big poster. That was a big thing for DJs. Yeah. It was like the crew. And then they had like promotion. Like they actually had like baseball cards and shit. Like, like they had their shit. Their shit was together.
This was like the first DJ crew kind of thing?
Not the first, because I remember the 5th Platoon guys were already around.
Yeah.
What was Raiders crew with
X-Men?
Oh yeah, X-Men. They were already out.
But as far as nightclub,
on a nightclub level, that was the Avengers.
Nightclub radio DJs.
They were the Avengers.
We were like the Avengers, the first ones.
Wow. So it was almost like you guys were like the first DJ agency a little bit, like kind of.
Sounds like a posse.
Yeah, kind of.
Or just more like a crew.
More of a crew, but yes.
More of a crew.
Yeah.
Kind of like we are the best of the best.
100%.
And then so when y'all came together, what was the thinking behind the crew? Just that.
I mean, we didn't have meetings and we didn't have like
a round table.
We didn't have a round table and there weren't guys like figuring out how we're gonna take it over the world. None of that shit happened. None of that shit happened. That shit didn't happen to the heavy hitters.
Facts. Yeah.
That's it.
Wait, so the story is you started the heavy hitters because you wanted to be in the Big Dog Pitbull.
I wanted to be down with the Big Dog Pitbulls,
which is Flex's crew,
right?
And it was a record pool.
And Flex said no. And then I was like, why? He was like, you know what, bro? Flip Squad was Jessica's thing, and I wanted this thing to really be my thing. And then Flex told me the honest truth. He was like, yo, bro, out of all the DJs, you're the one that gave me the most run for my money anyway, so why would I want you part of my crew?
So it was like competition.
It was competition.
Like big brother, little brother, just buddy heads.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, that's kind of cold. But I respect it for being
But that shit hurt you, nah?
Yeah, I was upset.
What do you think?
Yo, at this time, I'm hearing like DJ Premier wants to be a Big Dog Pitbull.
Who was the first Big Dog Pitbull?
I don't remember. But
tell me this. Now, were you on the radio when this conversation happened?
Yeah, I'm on the radio at the time.
You're on Hot 97.
I'm on the radio.
You guys are co-workers and this is happening.
Yes.
Jesus.
So imagine my co-worker tells me, like, nah, I don't want you down with the clique. So I tell DJ Threat. DJ Threat's my DJ Threat is my DJ Quiz at the time. And he was a guy who just helped me set up. He carried my crates. He would drive me to and from the venue. He was from Brentwood, Long Island.
He was a roadie.
So then I was telling him how upset I was with this decision that Flex didn't want me down to be at the Pebble. He was like, man, fuck Flex, bro. Start your own crew, man. So I'm like, damn, you're right. Maybe I should start my own crew.
Yeah.
And then my handle was the heavy hitter DJ Enuff. That was my handle. So he was like, yo, just take your handle and make that the crew name. What do we mean? Call it the heavy hitters, bro. I said, why would you not want to do that? I said, we some fat motherfuckers anyway, heavy hitters. And we eating chicken and Parmesan sandwiches at 4 a.m. Like after the club, this is when we were not on some healthy shit.
There was no health.
There was no health. We were smoking,
right,
drinking, and eating.
Rest in peace.
At any time.
Yeah, rest in peace.
But you could also tell when a DJ was getting more successful and they were popping more because they started getting a little heavier.
Yo, bro.
Right? They started getting a little bigger.
Fucking with Big,
Yeah.
I gained 60 pounds in one summer.
Really?
No way.
60 pounds in one summer.
60.
Damn.
60, bro.
Golly.
That's like 3 or 4 shirt sizes and pant sizes, bro.
That's a whole, you went from an XL to 3.
I went for like a 4X. I was probably an XL. I went to like a 4X.
God,
and I was like, damn. And then back then, you know, the big clothes was a style anyway. So
yeah.
So it was easy for us to find shirts and pants. Thank you to Carl Kanai. Thank you to April Walker, Walker Wear.
Walk away.
They were the ones who had the big sizes, bro. Aniche,
Wow.
Mecca.
So what was the initiation on how you would become a heavy hitter in the beginning?
For us, in the very beginning, it was just on like who we liked. But then later on, it was the qualification was like you had to either be a mixtape king or queen, or at least in the game of mixtapes. Mm-hmm. You had to kind of run a few like clubs in your city, or maybe you was a dope producer, maybe you was somebody who contributed to hip hop.
Yeah,
that's it.
So wait, in the initial heavy hitters, who was like the ground floor? Who was the?
It was me, DJ Threat, because he helped me with the name.
Yeah.
And then the first guy I put down was Camilo.
Camilo
would just happen to be in the city somewhere, and we were in the street, in the van, talking shit. It was literally just like this. Yo, Camilo, what's up, bro? He's like, yo, what's up? What's going on, guys? Yo, we starting this crew called the Heavy Hitters. You want to be down? He's like, yeah, I'm down. Let's do it. Yo, just like that.
And so when you got that drop, Heavy Hitters, Suckers.
That's Camilo's wife.
No way.
Yep.
That's dope.
Oh, that's crazy.
That's
Camilo's wife.
That's an exclusive.
That's Camilo's wife.
But we knew
she did the drop. I just heard him with the drop, and I took it. And I said, "This is gonna be our shit." And honestly, it was DJ Clue's fault, because at this time, all I heard was Clue. There's a storm. New shit. Clue. So I was like, yo, the sound bites are probably more powerful than us just saying our names.
That's why I never said my name. I was the first one to do that, though. I just want to put that.
That's oh shit! All right, Goldie.
Just want to put that out there.
Goldie, you know what happens in this podcast when somebody says they did it first?
Nah, I know that. I know that for a fact.
Call Clinton Sparks and see how that went.
That's dope.
Nobody was using their name like from a record or basing their name. They would say their name. Or if they were a DJ for like a rapper, then they would use what the rapper said their name, and then start incorporating that into their shit. But I had mine from the door. Goldfinger.
He wants to let you know. That's crazy.
Because I never wanted to say my name. I never wanted to talk. So that's
500 more comments to your thing right
that's my
It helps that he had a fucking famous movie fucking conglomerate after
There you go.
After him.
It helped.
Goldfinger.
Yeah.
Still watch that shit to this day.
So then the Heavy Hitters. So like, did you kind of know you wanted to debut this on Hot 97, like knowing that Flex, like, yeah, I want to show Flex I got my own crew now, kind of shit? Or
I mean, that's not where my head was.
It wasn't.
It was more like just let me do my thing.
This is my thing. Now that you look at the Heavy Hitters now, which is like become international, pretty much. I mean, how many Heavy Hitters are there?
It's about more than Wu-Tang.
I think it's. I think we're at like 120 now.
120.
Yeah, and I'm trying to slow it up.
You're trying to slow it.
I'm trying to, because my thought process is like, how could I be tight with over 120 people? There's no way.
Right.
You know, like when you first start something, you got 5 people, maybe 10, and you could navigate through that. You could talk, you could build with them. But then when it gets in the 50s and 60s, you got to have conference calls, and you got to have Zoom calls to kind of like see where everybody's heads at the same time. It's difficult.
So like,
oh shit!
I remember I had quiz on. I was kind of asking, like, you know, being a heavy hitter, right? What does it entail? Like, what is the benefits of it?
The perks
of being a part of
At this point, I don't even fucking know. Ask them. They'll tell you more than me.
we see you guys take lavish vacations and shit. So I'm like,
Now we do on the regular.
Yo, let me tell you one of the strengths of, like, you know, you go to like a mix show power summit or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And then you meet all these different DJs from all these different places that you've never been before, or you never been around them. And then it's like one thing they have in common. Oh, they heavy hitters. And it's like one from every city. It's like a gang, but they all just play records. The shit is impactful because now if he plays a record and he tells his crew, we leaning on this record, that record gets broke.
yeah.
And in New York, that means something. But if you got everybody across the country on the same accord, it's powerful.
That
you
was
know what I mean?
that was very key in the early 2000s in LA. All like the Dipset and all these records that were breaking, especially Felly Fell, they were all coming from the East because there was nothing in LA at the time. And it was just like at the end you would always hear the drop and you're like, this shit is being pushed and it's being like the hot shit now.
That's facts.
Now recently there's a young DJ that I love. She's amazing, Dana Lou. And I think
she's a heavy hitter.
Yeah, she announced she was a heavy hitter. I think last year or maybe a couple years ago. And I was like, damn, that's dope that there's a new generation of heavy hitters.
There is.
And there's this weight to the name.
Still.
Because
that's we had to do some in-house maintenance cleaning. There was some guys we had to get rid of. And some guys we just felt like weren't just for the organization. But that was one thing Camilo was very keen on helping. He was like, we have to make sure that the younger generation, the younger DJs understand what this is and what it's all about.
Right.
That's it.
And at this point, like when you look at the heavy hitters, and Quiz, you can answer this. Like when you see that name, because to us it's like, you know, when I was growing up, it was just like, oh shit, it's a crew and everything. But now, to the younger generation, they see that. There's nothing to really like say you've made it or you've accomplished anything or you reached a point. But I feel like being a heavy hitter, you know, like some people might say coming on a certain a TV show or a podcast or doing you know, a boiler room set. That's their way of saying they made it.
Right.
And I feel like even when Dana Lou, that was kind of a point of like, yo, I'm like, you know, y'all got to kind of take me seriously a little bit now because I'm a heavy hitter. And it's like a stamp.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, for you, right? You kind of explained it that way though.
Yeah, of course. It's just like for any DJ.
And then how it becomes kind of like, well, if I'm going to Miami, I know there's heavy hitters in Miami. And there's someone that to kind of look out for.
You want to know
right.
the real intricate? I know I told you I created it because of Funk Flex, right?
Yeah.
But the origin, disc jockey thing came from this idea. Ricky Lee, I don't know if you guys know who he is.
Yeah.
Ricky Lee used to have a magazine,
Hits.
And he had a little article, and he had about 40, 50 DJs on his team, and he would kind of interview them, and we'd talk music all the time on a conference call. The Baker Boys were on this. Felly Fell was on it. Me, Greg Street, Red Alert, you know, Awesome 2, mad DJs. The thing about the Ricky Lee thing, it was my first time of getting information on what records were hot outside of my city. So at this point, I'm starting to travel now. Remember, you guys heard my European story, how I went to Paris and Switzerland. So I'm already a traveler. This is mid-90s. So towards the late 90s, this was happening with, it's probably in the mid-90s too, with Ricky Lee. And I figured, you know, this would be a great way to get the information from the disc jockeys. So now, if I ever want to go to the Bay to DJ,
hot as shit.
I could tap in with somebody. You know what I mean? Like, that was always my thing. Because they would be like, yo, son, you can't play the LA shit in the Bay. It doesn't always work.
Right.
You got to figure that out. There's a twist to it. So I'd be like, oh, shit. You know, so it's those moments and those things that help me.
Yeah, where you have that network of communication, of information being spread on what records are working where.
And it's not just records.
Yeah.
It's literally
Culture.
The DJs are going to tell you where to eat.
Culture.
What nightclub, where to go. Don't fuck with that bitch. She's dirty. Don't fuck with that bitch. She'll set you up. Yeah. Don't fuck with those dudes over there. They'll get you killed. Like, that information is very important when you're traveling.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Fraternity, in a sense.
And the ill shit is like, you go to a city and it's like, you almost kind of like know you're at home to a certain degree. Yeah. You turn on the radio and you're like, heavy hitters. And you hear whatever city you in, you're like, okay, I know what this vibe is about. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's a brand. It's like, and it's an international brand. So That's what makes it even more powerful. Because you got all these DJs from all these different places. They're going overseas too, not just him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a really good look.
Yeah. So I kind of want to rewind back a little bit.
Go, man. Go rewind.
I want to rewind a little bit back.
Okay, go ahead.
You're back.
So like I want to know how from Biggie passing and how you felt in like obviously how you felt when he passed and where you were in your career.
I was sick to my stomach. I blamed hip hop for him dying, but I didn't really understand the aspect. I mean, I understood it, but then I didn't know who to point my finger at because I knew too much, and I was jaded in my decision making, right? Because I know who those gangsters were, I know who those guys were. I know, I was looking at the Death Row people, and I'm looking at Tupac's people, and I'm looking at everybody who's affiliated with somebody, some way, somehow, trying to figure out who killed Big, trying to determine why, hustlers, killers. So your brain goes into overdrive.
Yeah.
And then you get frustrated because there's no answering. And then you hear some street guys say, "Oh, whoever killed Big, he's gone. We took care of that already." But then you don't. There's no proof.
There's no closure.
There's no whatever. There's no closure. But I'm sick to my stomach. So there's a guy named Wayne Barrow. He's in charge of the Biggie estate. He was Biggie's manager. I felt like he saved my life a little bit because I was depressed. I wasn't gigging.
You wasn't motivated.
I didn't want to move. I didn't even want to go outside the city anymore. Nothing. I was so devastated.
Were you also like scared or like were you?
Hell yeah, I was scared.
Yeah.
I was bro. I remember like literally going to LA a few times, and this was the first time Mark Pitts and them, they got fucking a SWAT team to escort us.
Jesus.
So I'm like, bro, I didn't sign up for this shit. I'm a DJ. I want to play music. Why am I wearing a bulletproof vest?
Wait, is this when Biggie's still alive?
Yeah, Biggie's alive.
Post Pac death?
Yes. So I'm
that's
like,
when
why?
shit was real.
I'm like, why, bro? What are we doing here? That's why, like, the Biggie, like, when they all went to LA that last time when Biggie died, I didn't go.
Oh, you didn't?
I didn't. I was invited. I'm like, why are we going there? Are we gigging? No. We were supposed to go to London right after.
Yeah.
But they were celebrating the album being done. And I was like, I don't want to celebrate the album being done. I still remember the death threats. People calling Big's phone, the hotel rooms, "I'm going to kill you, motherfucker," that kind of shit. And I remember telling D-Rock specifically, "Yo, bro, please take care of him." I remember that like it was yesterday. And then when I got the phone call, when he passed, it shit broke my heart. It was D-Rock, Little Kim, and C's. And they were like bawling, crying on the phone, like, "We lost him, blah, 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 blah." And I'm crying, I'm in my crib. And it's crazy, because I didn't even know that he passed. I didn't find out from nobody in the crew. I found out on the fucking radio. I was in my crib. Lisa Evans was talking to Angie Martinez or some shit. And then my brother-in-law hits me like, "Yo, son, they're talking about your guy. You should put the radio on." Put the radio on. I'm like, what the fuck? Yo, my uncle died. I didn't cry at his funeral. This dude Biggie dies. I'm losing my shit. Like, and it's all because I felt like I knew he was gonna die. Does that make sense? Like, I was like, why are we going to LA? For what? I was so against it. I was like, why we can just stay here? What's the sense of, Pac had died already.
Right.
Yeah.
And Pac, I don't care what nobody says, Pac has a different kind of fanship that's different. He has a cult following.
Yeah.
It's different than the Biggie following. I'm sorry. The Pac following is a whole different thing, bro. It's different. Like, his fans, like, they really ride or die for him.
Yeah, I'm from LA.
But you understand that, right?
Yeah, it's just like his word is just Bible. There's no way around it.
That's it.
Whatever he said on Hit 'Em Up, that's what it was.
Yeah.
And growing up, we knew every word to that shit.
Mm-hmm.
But I see what you're saying, because Biggie, when you see the funeral videos and all the imagery, it's a hometown hero.
Mm-hmm.
And Pac never had that.
Right.
Pac was the spokesman, the Malcolm X, the big speaker, but Biggie was like, like when Barry Bonds, like, he was just a big fixture.
That's true.
So I see what you're saying.
Yep.
So then you're depressed. You're unmotivated.
I'm depressed.
And you're you're in a weird place in your career where
I'm like, I don't know what to do at this point. So then Wayne Barrow calls.
Yeah.
Yo, we got this gig for you. I'm like, what gig? We want you to DJ for a girl we're managing. What's her name? Her name is Queen Pen.
Oh, wow.
So I ended up going on the road with Queen Pen. Now, she's another Brooklyn legend, too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up going on the road with her.
And she has parties a party.
Yo,
no?
It's lit.
Yeah.
I'm having a whole different good time with her because, like, I'm around nothing but women. She always ran with like 20, 30 girls.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All the time. So I'm like, what the fuck?
This is better than hanging out with C's.
This is crazy. And then she was just different. You know, like different where like she would take the food stamps. I know it sounds retarded, but she would take food stamps and she would throw them in the crowd to all the mothers who didn't have money. And it was just like a thing. I was like, wow, I never seen that before.
Oh, that's crazy.
Not dollar bills, food stamps.
The booklet.
The booklets
They
before
used to, like,
before they were EBT cards
Yeah.
were created.
Google it.
The actual,
We'll put a picture here.
That's it. So that was ill, her doing that. But then I got to hang out with Teddy Riley a little bit more. Teddy Riley gifted me a pair of CDJs or some shit. He's like, Enuff, forget about this instant replay machine, bro. This is the future right here. And he hands me a pair of, I don't know if they were Sony or Pioneer. I forgot what number it was, but it was the first time I ever seen a CDJ.
Damn.
And I was like, oh, shit. And he goes, you're not going to have no more skipping problems. This is it, bro. This is it. So I was like, all right, cool.
And you were using that?
Yeah. I kept them.
Wow.
For a long time.
So then you're with Queen Pen, and then where does it transition to Hot 97?
Because in 1998, that summer, Queen Pen does Summer Jam. So I'm doing Summer Jam now with Queen Pen. The program director, while I get off the stage, is like, hey, I want to talk to you. I said, yo, Tracy, stop fucking playing games and hire me already. I'm telling her, stop playing games. You know you want me. Just hire me.
Stop playing hard to get.
Because, to be honest with you, the old program director of Kiss FM was coming back out. And they were getting ready to relaunch either Kiss or BLS. So that was probably my way of getting back on radio. And she knew that. And then she heard me do a party on 14th Street in the Meatpacking District one time. And I bodied this party. This is when I Can Love You was out by Mary J. Blige and Kim. I remember killing this party, and she was like, and this is the funniest shit. So the program director goes to Cypher Sounds and says, yo, I'm trying to hire this dude. He's amazing. He's Biggie's DJ. You ever heard of him? DJ Enuff. They're all laughing. They're like, yeah, that's our guy.
Yeah.
He's been down with us for years. So she thought she was bringing like this new guy into the fold.
Like she scouted you. She recruited you.
Yeah, all that.
You found a diamond in the rough.
But that was a good time, man. So thank you to Tracy. We call her Ice Queen.
Ice Queen, yeah.
Ice Queen.
Tracy.
And then so you were on Hot 97.
Yep. August of 98.
August of 98.
That's it. That's when I started.
Crazy.
Still there.
Still there.
26 years later.
26 years. When you go back and you remember, is there any kind of like pivotal moment where you think back where you like broke a record or you really made a name for yourself?
There was too many of those to count.
Too many?
But some, I'm going to tell you like weird ones.
Okay.
Like me playing Gnarls Barkley for the first time on the radio.
The Crazy record?
Yes. And Angie Martinez is my partner at the time.
Yeah.
She's interviewing Mary J. Blige. And then when the interview's over, I see Mary in the corner while I'm playing the Crazy record. And she is breaking her neck. Like, what the like breaking her neck.
Yeah.
And then she comes out the studio and she's like, what the fuck is that? I'm like, this is Gnarls Barkley, the CeeLo guy, the CeeLo Green dude. She's like, what? And she's like, so it was those moments where I realized that even though we were a hip hop radio station, I was trying to teach my listeners that sometimes there is something more than just hip hop.
You did that. You did that a lot, though.
Yeah, so that's the thing that we're trying to do.
I remember you playing like I could be wrong, but I remember you playing like Bob Sinclair records or like even
all the time. Yeah.
But we were hearing on Hot 97.
Like Hold On, those records.
Yeah.
I play them shits all the time.
But you were the first, like you were one of the only ones really trying to cross that boundary and bring like you knew that it was popping in the clubs and it was popping in,
You know what it was?
Yeah.
At that particular time, when I was doing that stuff, it really was just a tale of the backyard I was in. So, like, I would think of all the clubs. I don't care if it was Bungalow 8 or if it was fucking the Sheets and Pillows and Beds and all these clubs that we had in the city at the time. It was just a soundtrack.
Right.
That's all it was. That's all it was. It was that simple.
It was in the streets, and then
all the time.
You wanted to just put it on the radio.
He being real modest, but he broke a lot of records.
That's it.
You know, he broke a lot of records. I mean, even the Kanye shit. The Kanye being a heavy hitter.
Kanye
that's
was a heavy hitter, yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So we were paying attention. As other DJs, we were like, okay, he's playing this on the radio. I can play this shit in the clubs because if he's playing on the radio, we know we're not gonna look crazy playing in the clubs.
When you go for it, right?
When I go for it, I'm not gonna be crazy. But I need to ask you about the J Electronica record. What's up with that?
Which one?
Which one?
Exhibit C.
What about it?
It was a controversy about you playing that record.
Well, because I broke it.
This is what I'm saying.
Just Blaze didn't find out about it until on the radio.
Right.
Remember that?
I do remember that.
Wait, can you like recount it for us a little bit?
I don't remember it, but Just Blaze was the first one. It was that and the React record.
But you were getting heat from it, right?
Not heat, but just
Because Just Blaze had produced that record,
right,
and he didn't know how it got out. And I remember she was all over Twitter at the time.
right.
She was.
But what's it like, Goldie? Weren't you telling me that
The thing was, it was at a time when this was a lot of Snap records was out.
Yeah,
And then it was like a little bit of a divide because it was J Electronica is pretty much a backpack record.
Yeah.
Or they were calling it a backpack record.
Yeah.
But it was a really hip hop record. But Enuff was playing it on a mainstream station like Hot
and then prime
97.
time.
Prime time.
Yeah.
Watch out.
So now it's like, yo, the girls don't want to hear that. You know, it was just a different time at that time.
Yeah.
For having those type of records going on.
But you remember
that
him
that was my boom bap influence. Like it always creeps up. We always go through that.
Yeah.
But you was on the radio kind of. You telling me he was on the radio kind of like, yo, I'm gonna play this shit. I don't give a fuck what y'all say, kind of shit. Energy. You was like, I'm gonna play it anyway. Kind
No,
of
the shit on Twitter that was controversy wasn't that. It was a Nas record. So I had posted something on my feed, and I was questioning and doubting my reason for not playing
Yes,
it.
I
Remember that?
Yeah.
And then the whole entire industry fucking got at me and disrespected me. That's the one. So I said, yo, if the beat is fire and he's spitting lyrics, then why the hell am I not playing it?
Mm.
And I posed that to myself on my own timeline. Yo, The Alchemist shitted on me. Tony Touch shitted on me. All my friends who I thought were my friends, they all shitted on me.
What Nas records was it?
I forgot, bro.
No.
The only person that stood up and fought for me was Questlove, Black Thought, and guys like that. I think Q-Tip and a few others.
Do you remember what year it was around?
Damn, bro. Damn.
I'm trying to.
We got to know what Nas record this is. I
I
feel like.
forgot, bro.
Because I know it was a little rumble about the Exhibit C shit because of what was being played on Hot 97 at that time. And Enuff was like, I'm playing this record. And he was like, I'm playing this record. And it was like, I'm breaking this record.
I think it was something that what J Electronica said in the record as well.
Oh, because he just
He was
New
saying
Yorkers
that
or something?
New York was saying New York's using down south slang now or something like that.
Oh yeah.
So I think that was the.
That's all it was.
Because that was the talk shit. Kind of like 50 was kind of like. Well, everyone said that 50 kind of started popping, and he was doing his thing when he came back because he was kind of flowing like he was like he had a South flow a little bit. His voice a little bit. Was it that or no?
Nah.
Or was it like Dipset? I don't know.
Matter of fact, E, how do you feel about this? So, do you agree with this, or how do you feel about it from just your point of view? Do you feel that 50 divided New York, or he was the cause of people not working with each other as such and whatever when he came out?
I mean, I don't know. It's a weird question. I know the beef shit was real. I know that.
Right.
So that's probably what people were afraid of. You know, you talking about a guy who got shot 9 times and still around.
Mm-hmm.
any record executive is afraid of that guy, right?
Mm.
I remember Ja Rule had me in the van outside of BT.
Oh shit!
Like, yo, don't fuck with that dude. Blah 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 blah. And I didn't know how to feel because I was supporting 50 early. Also, I was like playing the mixtape shit on the radio. I was playing. The crazy part is, you'd be surprised of how much shit I didn't know was going on. Like the whole murder.
Yeah.
I don't believe. I was playing it on the radio.
Right.
I had no idea.
It was a diss
about
record.
It was a diss record.
Right.
I had no idea. I'm just so I'm happy I'm playing a record.
Right.
That's it. Sometimes you don't understand the subliminals or the shit that's going on. You're just playing music.
So when you played that, were you getting a call from Irv or
No.
nah.
I mean, no, but 50's team was happy.
Right.
They thought I was crazy, but it was fun.
So like, I don't know, what would you say was the most hectic time for you in Hot 97?
When dudes came up to the radio station with guns and they're ready to shoot me, I'm like, what's happening here?
Mm.
You know, like official dudes would come into the station like, yo, we run Brooklyn, son. Don't get it twisted. And they got pistols out.
But what are they beefing with you about? What were they upset
They just
about?
want you to know that they run Brooklyn. That's it.
They're
They're not beefing with me because I did something to them. It's just sometimes who you hang out with or who you're with. You know, they try and check that. Like, yo, be careful who you hanging with, homie. Like, you know, that kind of shit.
Wow.
Oh shit!
So then, like, at that time, I was doing the afternoons, or I would think I was just doing mornings still. And I'm like, yo, this can't happen. This is my job. And then we got security for the first time on the 7th floor because it was only downstairs. So if they got past if they got past them, once they got upstairs,
Done deal.
Is that before or after the 50 shooting that happened downstairs?
man, I don't know. That shit, there's too many shootings, bro. That ain't the only one. There's a 51.
The
There's
Little
a
Kim
Foxy
one.
Brown Little Kim one.
I think the Little Kim one was the straw that broke the camel's back
Yeah, I'm
with
sure.
Hot 97.
I'm sure, bro.
For sure.
But he's a veteran, so he's been there. He's seen a lot. I mean, summer jams. I know just being at the summer jams got to be hectic. And now, you got, 25 in?
That too. 26.
25
26,
son?
26, yeah.
26?
Because I always heard the summer jams was like, that was when you couldn't play this record because this person was performing.
They could be there.
Yeah, I would talk to Big Ben, and he always said, Mr. C always murdered it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like,
He always did.
I just want to be right there with Mr. C and keep that energy up.
And then after a while, Enuff was fucking hosting. He would come out and introduce motherfuckers.
But it's always like some drama happening because one person's not getting along with the
Always.
other and always beef.
Always something.
And how do you, like, y'all just ready for that after
You gotta be ready for it. The year Nas wanted to fucking lynch Jay-Z on stage,
That was crazy.
the program director says, we're not doing that. Are you kidding me?
Did you see the?
You're gonna try to do a lynching
I was there at that.
of a black man on stage in front of the whole entire hip hop culture? That's not happening. And honestly, I know where Nas was coming from. He wanted to just knock him out because Jay the previous year knocked him out.
Yeah.
But the lynching, I think that was too much. Like, we're not doing that, the lynching thing.
That was like such a weird time in New York.
So Nas doesn't perform.
Yeah.
He runs to Power 105. He's talking about us on the radio over there. I'm literally on stage.
bringing out
and-
Ja Rule because Ja Rule was next.
no.
after that.
No, that's not what happened.
Ja Rule did come out. He was the last person to perform that night.
I know, but what I'm trying to tell you was I got Dipset to perform in place of Nas.
Got it.
Because they were just hanging in the crowd on the corner. So I told the program director, I said, look, I know Nas ain't performing, but if you need someone to fill, look, the Dipset dudes is right there. She was like, well, if you can get them to perform, let's get it going. I go to Jim and them. I said, Cam. I said, yo, Nas ain't performing. Y'all want to get on the stage and rock out for us? And show them how it's done?
Woo!
And then it happened.
Put the battery in their back.
That's it. You got to do that sometimes.
So like I remember that time in New York where it was hectic, but it was also kind of like it was low key one of the greatest times for like New York radio, because it was like we were just tuned in to Hot 97.
Everything was happening.
And we were just listening to every, like, we were listening to The Takeover. We were listening to Ether. And you guys were just playing that. I remember I probably like with Angie Martinez, y'all were just playing that back to back and then talking about it. And we were just listening to it.
We used to have round tables, and we had a whole voting thing on who was the king of New York and who won the battle.
Yeah.
And then that's when the phone calls would come in. It was like, Nas, Jay. And we would literally tally every vote. And we try to do it as honest and straightforward as possible.
Yeah.
And the Nas shit really won.
Really?
Who did you think it won?
I think Nas won that.
Really?
Yeah. And Mr. C said Brooklyn because he was from Brooklyn.
LA thought Jay-Z won.
And then Jay-Z was like, I was like, Jay's probably mad at me. He goes, nah, if I was mad, I would have tripped up Enuff on the way into the building. So I was like, he was mad. And then me and Jay, I don't care what nobody says, me and Jay were never the same after that.
Really?
I felt like, nah. Because I remember early when Jay was like becoming the president of Def Jam at the time, he had those conversations with me like, yo, bro, I need your help. You are one of the premier DJs. You know, I got this position. I got to look good, blah, 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 blah. So, you know, like he was that guy, you know. And then after that, I feel like I never talked to him again.
Wow.
That's all.
Wait, did you like, what did you feel about Super Ugly? Did you feel like
It was all right.
it was all right?
You know what the problem was?
Yeah.
That's the problem. The problem is that you're basing 2-3 different songs,
Mm-hmm.
and then there was the Nas Ether record, and then Super Ugly was something different,
Right.
you know. But if he was to like pair up Takeover versus Ether, I would take Takeover all day.
Yeah, me too.
The fact of the matter is that Nas came out with a record, H to the Izzo, that was before he came out with Ether. So really that was supposed to be the record that went up against Takeover because that was his response. But then he waited till the album came out and put on Ether. And then after Super Ugly came out, and then it was like Super Ugly versus Ether. It wasn't really that battle. It was really the Takeover versus Ether. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, because I remember like it was like the battle kind of ended after Super Ugly because like I think Jay took it back, right? He said his mom
Yeah, it was a done
was
deal.
embarrassed and shit like that, and everything happened. I want to fast forward to now because we were kind of talking about this, and you know, like with New York hip hop in the state that it is, you know, like Ice Spice is the biggest, one of the biggest rappers out right now, repping New York, and then you know we've been hearing like her production with Riots and everything, and we were kind of like wondering your relation with the producer Riots.
That's my son.
That's your son.
Yeah.
Let me tell you how I was taken back when I found that out.
Yeah.
You know, nobody knows that, right?
I was like, yo,
Good.
nobody
They don't need
knows
to know
this shit. Like your contribution to hip hop is even in a different level that your son is doing something.
My son is killing it.
Wait, why do you want to keep it low?
Because, you know, sometimes what we forget is that our kids have to live in our shadows.
Right.
And we don't want that for our kids. If you want true success for your child, you don't want him living under my shadow at any way, shape, or form. I don't want that. So I want him to get his own merits, his own flowers and everything based on him doing what he's supposed to be doing. That's it. Yes. Not because I'm his dad.
How old is he right now?
23.
23?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for shouting out my son.
No problem.
When he was born.
No problem.
I remember that. That was a big,
awesome.
big deal. Shout out
But
my
he's
son. when he was
23
born.
and he has hit records.
Yes, sir.
Wait, when did you start seeing that he had the production bug?
His mom called me one day and said, hey, your son got a show. Like, you know, show where? In Williamsburg. I'm picking him up now. I'm like, yo, he's 15 years old.
Wow.
He can't even get inside the club. What are you talking about? But my son was already performing. My son raps, but I don't think people know that. So I think maybe that's where the input with the Ice Spice thing kicks in. Maybe he helps with the writing. Maybe he helps with the, I'm not too sure what, you know, I don't get into that business like that, but I'm just super proud of him. And when I see him do his things, I get teary-eyed and I just don't know how to act.
But how do you find out about Ice Spice? How do you find out about this? Like, how do you hear the record?
Because my son and the girl, they both graduated from the same college. And then I bought him a brand new laptop when I was in need of a laptop. and I bought him the super fast, the high end, the fly ass laptop. So he makes all his beats off that laptop I bought him. So it was a great investment.
No, I'm just saying, as DJ Enuff, how do you find out about the Ice Spice record?
He sent it to me.
He just sends it to you, like,
yeah,
check this out.
Check this out. Tell me what you think.
Yeah.
So which record did you hear? Like Clarity or any
No,
of these?
my first record I ever played on her was, I think it was a Bully Freestyle, and then there was a record In the Name of Love or Name of Love.
Yeah.
That shit. That was my shit.
But was he like showing you his beats before? Like, yo, what you think of this? What do you think?
Yeah.
Because you seem kind of detached from it.
I have some of the beats.
Yeah.
And I you know what I did there. Yeah, because it's not a DJ Enuff thing. It's a Riot thing. I'm clear on that.
So he's not asking you to come to the studio or check this out?
He's not telling you, yo, what do you think of this beat? Should I play this?
No, he's doing him.
That's dope.
That's
dope.
Yo,
That's really
shouts
dope.
to him, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible.
So then when Thought I Was Feeling You pops off and it goes viral,
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I saw that video
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't know who the fuck Ice Spice was or anything. The second I saw that video, I was like, that's going to be a hit.
Yeah.
That's going to be a hit. But
Yeah.
how did you hear about it? Like when it started bubbling, because I remember that summer, it was like 2021, 22?
21, 22 is one of those.
It was like, it just popped off.
It was everywhere.
Did you, when you saw it and when you heard it, did you think it was going to pop?
Yeah.
And then when you just saw the video come out and it just started bubbling on Instagram and everywhere.
And then all my friends are saying, yo, this Ice Spice. And I'm laughing because in my head I already know about Ice Spice.
Yeah.
She's at the crib, she's chilling. I already know about Ice Spice, I'm clear. I didn't know she had the skills though. I didn't know. Not until later. Like
It's
everybody
ill.
else.
You think about it, it's like him like he's got to process it through as a parent.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you're a parent and you listen to your kids' music, but it's still your music.
Right.
It's an ill, dichotomy. You know what I mean?
But it's interesting because it's like you're giving him this freedom, right? And you're not, I feel like a lot of parents would get more involved and they would try to guide and steer it, and control it.
Yeah, I guide him other ways with finances,
Yeah.
with doing the right thing.
Mhm.
When he says, Dad, tell me a good place I could go vacay at. I'm like, I got you. Like that's how you help
Right.
him.
That's dope.
But is there certain things that he asks for? He's like, yo, can you do this? And you're like, nah, I'm not doing that. Like, I can't do that.
Nah.
Like, he's not asking for favors from
The only thing I think that he realized was in the very beginning, what I was trying to teach him was about radio.
Yeah.
And now he needed to be involved with radio. Because whether you guys know this or not, when you're a producer or you're a writer of music, radio still reports to Billboard. And without those reportings going to Billboard, he's not going to be the number one producer or the number one writer.
Right.
So then he came back around, was like, Dad, I need you. So I was like, yo, bro, I'm here. I never went anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like as a father, you have to sometimes let your kid fall down before you actually pick him up.
That's the hardest thing.
That's the hardest part. That's the hardest part. It is. But I'm super
crazy.
proud of him because he's killing it.
Oh, he's crushing.
He makes a whole lot of fucking money. He's rich. It's great. It's great, bro. It's great.
I love it that you should take it as a fan. Like, you take his music as a fan. Like, you just wait till something drops or premieres, and you're like, oh, shit. Like, it's kind of a crazy moment for you. Because as a DJ, you're like, oh, great music, I can play. But also it's like, your kid.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
But it's also like in this era that we're in where nepotism is so strong. Like every parent is putting their kid on. And it's just like, it's honestly how a lot of motherfuckers are getting put on now.
But there's actually nothing wrong with that, though, man. There's nothing wrong with that. Shit, anybody would have the opportunity to do something for somebody that they love, they would do it.
But
it's a yes or no kind of thing.
I think I'm in the middle of it.
But he's earning it. He's getting fucking.
No.
Like
I'm
he's
saying,
doing his shit. Like
no,
he's got some
I'm
dope
saying
shit.
I'm saying that Enuff is kind of letting him.
like,
you giving him the freedom to build his own name and do it on his own.
Yes.
Kind of knowing that it can't be like, well, because I feel like motherfuckers will automatically talk shit like, yo, Enuff, she's an industry plant, or like, Enuff
I've heard
behind
that.
the scenes
I've heard
and
that
everything,
already,
right?
but nah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
I love that he doesn't like that. When he said it's not an Enuff thing, it's a Riot thing. That's it. That tells me everything.
That's it.
Oh, that's cash.
That's dope. Super.
He kind of did the Latino dad thing though. He's like, yo, go fell.
Yeah.
That's what my dad did to me.
Yeah.
Go fuck up a little bit, and then we'll help you fix it along the way.
The special part about this is like your legacy has got a whole nother couple of decades now.
100%.
You're hitting a whole nother age group.
That's it.
because of this. It's fucking beautiful, yo.
I think so.
It really is.
It's awesome.
Before we're gonna wrap it. I don't want to keep you any longer.
No, it's all good. You guys are buying dinner.
Huh? Yeah, let's do it. When you look back on like your career, like from where you are right now, what is your absolute proudest moment?
Probably seeing my son.
That's great.
Wow, that's beautiful.
And it's like, and the whole thing is like, it's just getting started too.
Yeah, just seeing him is everything. I lose my shit when I see him do his thing. I saw him DJ at the Doja Cat concert. He opened up for them. So I'm like, yo, I don't ever remember teaching my son how to DJ. I taught his friend, his best friend, how to DJ. His best friend teaches my son how to DJ. You see how it all goes full circle?
That's crazy.
Shit.
So I'm like, oh shit. And then I'm like, and he's doing it. I'm watching my son DJ, and I'm like, man, he's doing it and throwing the music up. Yo, what's up? He's talking on the mic. I'm like, oh shit, that's my guy. So that's my proudest moment.
Is there anything that you maybe knowing that your son's starting his career and he's going into this, and you've seen everything happen in hip hop, everything happen, and you've seen everything happen in radio and the music industry. Is there like one message or any warning that you give him, or is there any fear that you have that you just don't want to happen?
The only fear I got is I want to make sure he spreads his love of his production to other artists and to other people. That's it. I want to make sure he spreads himself out so that he's not just his eggs aren't just in one basket. That's it.
And just stays like versatile, kind of like, and keeps it open and free. Amazing.
Because it doesn't last forever. Look at the greats. We all thought they were going to be here forever, right? A lot of them ain't here.
Yeah.
That's
Enough.
crazy,
Thank you so much for
Not a
coming
problem,
through, man.
This was dope.
No, we appreciate it, man.
Yeah, we appreciate it, man.
Honestly, I wish I could have you back, maybe. And, we can talk a little bit more.
We'll figure it out. I'm down.
Yeah.
Club killer DJ Enuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just had to give him props because in the clubs, he was a
It's
problem.
nasty. We didn't even get into the clubs at all.
Yeah, I was trying to save him some.
I know.
You know?
There has
Like,
to be
yo,
a part
People,
two, man.
people know the radio, so they don't know how bad this motherfucker was in the
It
clubs.
was nasty. I could just imagine. Yeah. But yo, Enuff. Thank you so much. Yo, Quiz.
Thank you.
Goldfinger. Thank you so much. Enough.
No problem.
This is like a legendary episode for
Let's
me.
do it again, bro. I'm here.
You here?
Yep.
Yeah.
We could do a part two.
100%.
Let's run it. All right, DJ Enuff. Thank you so much.
No problem. All right, y'all. I'm on the road.
If you want to watch more episodes from R.O.A.D Podcast, click either links on the left or the right. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page and get updated on new uploads throughout the week. Peace.